I support my fiance's decision to not forgive my sister.
What'd she do?
I don't know. I barely know her.
Forgive her. I hardly know her.
Trigger warning, there's a slap upcoming to this story. So if that offends you, leave. Background. I, 30 male, am engaged to Kay, 25 female. She's an orphan with no immediate family in the U.S. Her aunts, godmother live in Europe. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and the issue is with my sister, Amy, 17 female. By the way, this comes from La La Na Jefe, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sam.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, my family is loud, boisterous, and very close. When I first met Kay, she was excited to hear about my family and meeting them. They are lots, and Kay is more reserved and quiet, but she was welcomed with open arms. For the past 2 years, there was no issues.
That's good.
But now, there's an issue.
No.
We play a lot of games when we get together, and it gets very competitive. Kay is more chill, but she plays as hard as everyone else. That's what we love.
Good.
We love, Sophia and I, when we play games,
We go hard.
we go hard.
And
What
if
was the
you
last
get-
game we played, and how long did we play it for?
Dude, for 4 hours.
Who won?
Not me, but I didn't lose.
So Amy and Kay were on the same team for Pictionary, and Amy was going nuts about them losing to the boys. Me, my brother, dad, etc. She was honestly cheating.
It's my dad.
Kay didn't play along and kind of laughed when they lost, saying, it's just for fun. Amy slapped her hard across the face. Whoop-ah!
That's crazy. Now that's too hard.
Someone's a
Get
major,
your head in the game.
How-
major loser vibes.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That
I'm
is
sorry.
crazy.
Just in general, to
Don't slap
anyone,
people, but
bad.
over Pictionary.
Yeah, over Pictionary?
Yeah, well, maybe she was trying to have them write down the word
Yeah,
slap.
she was like,
They're not getting it. We have to really do it for
she's
real.
like, why did you slap me? And she's like, yes.
The word. Boom. None of us could believe it. My parents were very upset with Amy and immediately sent her to her room. She was screaming that she didn't mean it. I mean, I fear what slap means when she means
Yeah.
it. If it was already a huge, big old slap
You can't
when
really
she didn't
take
mean
back a slap.
it. Yeah, but you could, here's a slap if I mean it.
Yeah.
Or if I don't mean it. Here's a slap if I mean it. And if you want to see a slap if I really mean it, check into our dominatrix stream that we went on yesterday.
Okay.
And apologized on Amy's behalf. Kay was holding back tears.
Oh, the mom was saying she didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. I see.
Yes.
I thought Amy was saying I didn't mean it. I was like, how?
No.
Yeah.
I think mom was apologizing on her behalf and asked me to take her out of there, which understandable.
Yeah, she just got slapped over Pictionary.
Since we don't live in my home state, we went back to the hotel. Kay was very shaken and said she has never been hit in her life.
That would be pretty shocking.
Never spanked or in a fight.
Sam's punched me.
What?
That is untrue. But Sophia would stub her toe all the time and say, Sam!
Yeah.
And I would get in trouble. Sophia got me in trouble for doing nothing.
And then he would attack me
Yep.
brutally.
See, this is exactly what was happening. The next morning, she had a large welt on her face.
Oh my God, it was that hard?
Dang, that means Kay meant it. That's
Yeah.
Did she have like rings on or something like that?
yeah.
Can you
Oh,
imagine?
true.
Well,
That would
I
be bad.
mean, she wouldn't even need it if she just
Well,
slapped that hard.
It looked really bad.
Wow.
I snapped a photo of it and sent it to my parents saying we were going back home. That was 2 months ago, and Kay wants nothing to do with Amy. We were in the early stages of wedding planning, and there was talk of all 4 of my sisters having some role in the wedding. Kay now wants just her BFF and maid of honor and her maid of honor's daughter as flower girl. She originally was going to have my mom and sisters meet her at NYC to try wedding dresses and have her aunts come here. Now she's going to France alone to shop with her family.
Oh, wow.
Again, I understand.
Understandable. All understandable.
That's
think there's,
crazy. A welt?
really no way back here for Amy.
Yeah. My sisters are very upset. My mom understands how this affected Kay, and she spoke to her about it. Kay said that she felt that she did not want to only exclude Amy, so none of them are included.
Dang.
right? Because like I feel like it's a little awkward if everyone else goes.
Yeah, but Amy.
Yeah, but also
Well, I think it's not that they're not coming to the wedding. Well, Amy might not be, but I think it's that
they're
she
like
was
uninvited from like all the wedding activities.
I think she wanted them to be in the wedding party, and now she's saying I can't include them in the wedding party.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Although I would say if you still feel like you have a good relationship with everyone else,
then I would still have them.
I feel like honestly, Amy would understand why she wasn't included.
Yeah, and if she doesn't, then she needs tremendous amounts of therapy.
Yeah, yeah. But she said that if my mom explained it to Amy and the other girls and they were okay with that, she would possibly consider some involvement.
Okay. So she was just like, if they talk and they're all cool with just Amy being excluded, it's fine.
But that did not go over well, Sophia.
No.
Amy flipped and demanded it be all of them or none.
Amy, girl, you can't possibly think you have any say anymore.
My parents talked to me and asked that I bring Kay to them
No.
so we could sit with Amy, have a face-to-face to apologize.
You mean
Don't bring your
hand-to-face?
face anywhere near Amy. And clear the air. They also wanted Kay to apologize.
They're like, Kay really needs to turn the other cheek.
I said she
Whoa.
had nothing to apologize for. When Kay heard, she said she's not going to their house again if they think she owes anybody an apology. And I am 100% behind Kay.
Me too.
Now that is a good fiance.
Yeah.
I love that. Amy has always been the most challenging of my younger siblings. I love her, but she has crossed a huge line. Still, I don't want to cause a massive rift. Am I wrong for 100% backing my fiancé? And there is an update. But Sophia, Keon, chat, is OP wrong for backing his fiancé?
No. No. His fiance got hit by his sister. And now
To the point where there's a welt.
A welt?
A welt.
And now his parents are saying Kay needs to apologize?
I feel now the parents need to apologize. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Just because you said that she needs to apologize, now you guys are uninvited.
They had me in the first half with like,
Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
okay, you guys need to talk face to face.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that seems reasonable. She's going to apologize.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh no, you owe her an apology. What?
Hypothetical. I slapped Allie hard across the face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys are about to get married.
Okay.
What are you
wow, we're
doing?
really speed running things.
For no reason.
I would expect Allie to be uncomfortable around you, but like after, a couple months
don't
to
apologize.
years, after a couple months and years, I would expect like you guys to be able to be in the same area.
I'd be like, unless there was like a cordial like apology
Yeah.
and like something like that.
The
But
problem is,
then I wouldn't be able to see Sophia for
I don't
years.
think. I don't
But
think
that's-
Sam is. I
but you
think
gotta
Sam
think
is
of
basing
Allie.
this off of our relationship, and he can't separate.
It's very hard to separate. I understand that I would be wrong, but like I can't not see my sister.
Yeah. You're talking about our relationship because I would never slap Allie across the face.
Let me know if you would expect your significant other to be able to be in the same room with your sibling after a slap. I imagine most people would be on Sophia and Keon's side. Not that I'm on the other side, by the way. I don't want to not see my sister. That's crazy.
Aw,
All right.
I don't want to not see you. I won't slap Allie.
But we got an update. So I need to clarify something before the update. The psychologist is a teen specialist, not a sports one. My dad corrected this. Kay is back. We're still engaged, still wedding planning, and no issues between us. Kay was initially not happy with the post, but says she appreciated the overall support. My mother has apologized to Kay and explained herself to her. Okay, so at least someone has apologized.
Yeah.
Kay has accepted the apology and is not holding on to anything negative. Her exact words. Both of my parents are concerned about how Amy has begun to lash out and realize that there are deeper issues that Amy needs to address. Yeah, if someone's slapping people over Pictionary, there's definitely deeper issues.
Therapy.
And is going to receive therapy for. Great.
Good.
I'm not involving myself in this, and Amy has asked my parents not to share with my brother or me. The only significant update, as several of you predicted, is that Amy is saying she's glad she's not going to the wedding and told my brother, who is getting married in September, that if he keeps up his attitude with her, she's not going to come to his wedding.
She's got
either.
severe behavioral issues.
She's got main character syndrome. She
She's
lost.
like fine.
Yeah.
If you're rude to me, I'm not coming to your wedding.
And he's like, you're 17.
I don't want you. You're
really
going to be
care.
slapping everyone at that thing. He told her that would be fine. Again, as many of you pointed out, she is playing the victim. On the positive side, both my aunt and my oldest sister have said that Amy has been owning up to the slap. She's like,
yeah, I did it.
So what? She's owning up to it so well.
Yeah.
Not apologizing, just owning up. And how she has ruined her relationship with Kay. Never like that.
Never liked her anyway.
That's why I slapped her. I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
That was me.
Slapped me. You know, in Surf's Up, stepped on me, practically danced on me.
I guess I'll have to hold judgment until she apologizes to Kay. Amy's therapist is working with her on this. Kay has told my parents that she will wait until Amy is ready. My oldest sister has been there to help my mom and said that she believes that Amy has felt isolated and left out of the family for a while. Again, something that will be addressed in therapy. She had several tournaments and wasn't able to attend a family event and didn't get to visit with me with my mom and youngest sister, 15. Not an excuse, just telling those who will ask. Kay and I are planning on visiting my home state in August. We have a very big family reunion at the lake every year. Kay said she's fine with going. She said she is not afraid and wants to focus on the wedding rather than hold on to any resentment. Her words. I guess that's it.
I'm not afraid.
But it's not it.
Thanks, sir.
There's more than half of this story.
Oh, dang.
There's more than half of the story left.
That's a lot of slaps to get through.
That's a lot of slaps. Thanks again to those who had helpful advice and those that offered support. Thank you all who responded with great advice and the wake-up call I needed. I ended up calling Kay the next morning and told her about the post. She wasn't too happy about it, but it did help make her request and her godmother's request easier. No, Amy is not at the wedding, period. We're having a smaller ceremony in Europe, and we'll discuss a larger reception back in the U.S., possibly after this is resolved. Kay is on her way back home to me and still engaged. Next, I'm in my hometown, but not at my parents' house. My aunt came and showed my mother the post. I was not there Monday, but I was on FaceTime with them. My oldest sister, 29 female, was also with my mom. Mom, was absolutely devastated reading the responses that said harmful act and abuse and pressed charges. She was in tears and was afraid for Amy. I don't think she really understood until I reminded her about the photos and the witnesses. She was very apologetic, and my dad chimed in reminding her about asking Kay to apologize, and my mother is going to apologize to Kay. She knows she was 100% wrong. And before I get going here, I'm not excusing the behavior or justifying anything. I'm just sharing the conversation we had earlier today. Long story short, Amy thinks Kay dislikes her. I mean, you slapped her.
She let me lose. I didn't win the game.
Right.
She hates me.
I mean, you don't win hearts and minds by slapping people across the face, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't kiss a baby then slap someone and accept
As
the mother
they
to love you.
say, no crap, Sherlock.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that politicians don't go around slapping people to get votes. Let me just tell you. And has said that she feels like she's the only one Kay doesn't like. This is not true, but it's how she feels. The latest trigger incident happened over Easter weekend when we were home. All of the girls were talking about college, and Amy was saying she was looking at out-of-state colleges because she had received some interest from coaches.
I also just wanted to point out the wording there of Amy saying, I feel like I'm the only one that Kay doesn't like.
You slapped her. You're the only one that slapped her.
But Opie said that's not true. So I'm just imagining that she doesn't like a lot of people.
Yeah.
She's like, you're just one of many people that Kay doesn't like.
Well, my dad, me, and my brother, 25 male, and my oldest sister all went to big universities in our home state with athletic scholarships. Amy can as well. I guess she said to Kay if she went to a certain college, she could save money and live with us. I don't think Kay wants you living with her.
No.
Kay said, and miss out on campus life, you would miss out on so much not being on campus, which is true. I think that's true. My oldest sister said the same thing and also added that the school close to us wasn't as good in that sport and gave other reasons, and that was it. Kay and I live on the East Coast, my family in the Midwest. Amy's coach and teammates are pushing for her to go to California. It's a great opportunity, and several players from our general area that Amy knows are also there.
What sport?
Volleyball. So, yes.
Oh.
That's why she's so good at slapping.
Wait, is it actually volleyball?
I don't know.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Hoppa! In her mind, she felt like she was being pressured into this and that it would send her away. When Kay commented that it was a great school, she says she has been struggling with the pressure and expectations and isn't dealing with it too well. Obviously, if she's not dealing with it too well.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah. School pressure shouldn't have you slapping people.
No.
Slapping balls, maybe. Some volleyballs. Whoop-ah. Dad said that her coach has been having her talk to a sports psychologist for the past month. Lastly, I spoke to Amy, and my mom was firm about how absolutely horrible her behavior was and what it did to Kay. I said she should have immediately apologized instead of screaming and crying. I reminded her that she was lucky Kay didn't call the police and file charges. She responded that she didn't think. She snapped. I told her that she was not coming to the wedding, period. She understands that she may never have a relationship with Kay after this, and it is her own fault. So that's it until Kay and I are back home. Again, I appreciate all the helpful and harsh comments I received. And there's another update.
Yeah, I feel like that's all very fair. And I mean, she still isn't taking, responsibility for what she did.
Yeah.
So I feel like until that is done, like there's no way that you can fix this until she does that.
Yeah. I mean, it takes two people to mend a broken relationship, you know? It takes the person who may have done something wrong to admit to it and repair, and the person who was hurt to overcome that and repair. So,
Yeah.
But I have another update.
Ooh-wee.
Kay and I returned from my family's big annual reunion, and Amy was not there by her choice. She was invited to a tournament out of state and decided to go, so there was no confrontation. Her therapy appears to be going okay, but she is still lashing out at my brother and his fiancé and me the most. She has been assigned by a therapist to write out her grievances, and then they were going to work on finding one or two she could work on with her brothers. Apparently, again, my aunt and oldest sister are my sources. She decided to read them all at a random dinner, which upset my parents and other two sisters. She then sent the list to me and my brother via email. It was ridiculous, and most of it was not even accurate. Example, she had a scar on her palm that she needed stitches for. She fell at the lake when she was around 10 and landed on a nail on the dock, and my grandmother had grabbed her hand to see what the damage was, and it tore the cut. Apparently, that was my fault. Other things like that.
And you know what is always your fault? If you don't listen to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. It's your fault.
Well, there's another relevant update, but let's discuss. It seems like this Amy is not getting much better.
Yeah, it seems like she's bringing up all of these past things and then now blaming them on you. It feels like she's regressing even further.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing is excuses and zero accountability.
Zero. And she's 17, but that's definitely old enough to be able to know that you're not supposed to slap people and you are supposed to take accountability if you do something that bad.
Yeah. But we got a little bit more of the story, and I'm going to go right into it. So the other big update is that she is not going to my brother's wedding in a couple of weeks.
Wow. Well, she said that. She said, if
You keep disrespecting me. I'm not going.
And she's not going.
and then
He is done with her crap, the brother. He lives in the next town, and she has consistently stated that my brother and their witches are trying to get rid of her. A friend of the family is taking her for the weekend, and my mother was the catalyst for this. Kay and I are good. I know how lucky I am. The wedding is going to be in Europe in April, and it will be small, 40-ish people / family. And then we'll do a party for my extended family and our friends in the summer. So that is it. Thanks again for the wake-up call. Still holding on to hope that we can come out of this as a family. We can accept the non-closure for a while. And that is where this story ends.
And there you go.
But we got another story for you coming right up. Sophia's going to pull up her next one.
Woohoo! I invited my fiance's estranged father to our wedding, and he walked out.
We can't have the family reunions at a wedding. Gotta approve beforehand.
And trigger warning for mentions of substances. This happened about 4 months ago. I, 26 female, have been with my fiancé, Cody, 32 male, for 7 years. Our relationship was amazing. We never really argued. Both had well above average paying jobs, and we've been living together for 5 years. Cody doesn't speak to his father, not because of anything his father did, but because when Cody was a horrible person after his mother's passing, He was using substances and often fought with his father. By the way, this comes from Capable Tomorrow 2104, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. The relationship ended when Cody took his dad's 1971 Plymouth Cuda. His dad had that car for years, and it was his pride and joy. The type that never got driven except to car shows that he waxed every weekend religiously. Cody took it on a joyride while high, picked his little sister, 10 female at the time, up from school in it, then crashed the car.
Oh, gosh.
The car was totaled, and his sister was seriously injured in the accident.
Oh, no.
She survived, but required extensive physical therapy and will have lasting effects from her injuries. She and Cody occasionally speak, but the relationship is superficial. His father, James, never forgave him. He immediately cut Cody off when he was sent to juvenile detention for 3 years and hasn't spoken to him since. According to his sister, James never wanted to hear anything about him. Cody would talk about how he wished he had his dad, or if he'd see father-son scenes in movies, he'd get a sad look and make small references to his own relationship. I know he deeply regrets what he did and loves his father, but he has a lot of pride and says he won't reach out because he doesn't want to apologize for something so long ago just to get his dad back. He thinks his father should want to come back because he's his son. After we got engaged, I decided I'd try to reach out to James. I found him on Facebook and explained that while Cody wasn't willing to apologize yet, he missed his father and wanted a relationship with him. James didn't hesitate and said he would love to attend the wedding. All of my excitement for our wedding became about my gift to him, his father. But when the wedding came, as soon as Cody spoke to James, who told him I'd invited me, Cody looked at me with a cold, flat face. He didn't look happy, he had no emotion, and then he literally walked out on our wedding. I was hysterical, and I'm about to cry right now just typing this. I was left to deal with all the guests, the venues, everything. He never came back. After 3 weeks of silence from him, I reached out to his sister, who set up a time for us to speak. He called me and said he didn't want to see my face.
Oh.
He yelled at me for going behind his back to do something like that, how he had told me he wasn't ready to apologize, and that whatever apology I promised his father he would never get, ultimately further ruining his relationship. When I explained that James didn't expect anything, that I made it clear he didn't want to apologize, but James didn't care, he went silent. I talked for another 5 minutes, pleading with him to see my intentions were good, and I never gave anybody false expectations before he just hung up on me. It's been 3 months since that day, and I've been living in weird limbo. All of his things are still here. He hasn't picked up clothes or anything. I started therapy, but haven't felt any progression. But 2 days, James reached out to ask when would be a good time to pick up Cody's things. I asked him if Cody had asked him to, and he said yes. I asked if they were speaking, and again he said yes. He thanked me for reuniting them and explained how Cody reached out 3 months ago after my conversation with him, and their relationship is on the mend. Cody's living with him, and they've been catching up on life. I mean, this is not your fault.
No.
This is not your fault. You
No.
clearly did something good.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a wake-up call to
Yeah.
a relationship that we just shouldn't have been in.
Yeah. I asked him why Cody hasn't reached back out to me if he ended up reconnecting with him. What was he shutting me out for if he wasn't mad about his father anymore? And James told me that Cody was deeply betrayed by my actions by going behind his back and doing something so personally invasive, and that he just didn't want to be near me after realizing what type of person I can be. I feel like the entire situation is unfair. I realize I shouldn't have gone behind his back, but he'd expressed several times how he wished his father would be at the wedding and how much he wishes he'd had a relationship with him, and I never gave his father false hope for an apology that Cody wasn't willing to give. Yet I'm the one who got ghosted, and they have a great relationship now. But James is saying that I'm wrong because I went behind Cody's back and that he isn't going to save me from the consequences of my own actions by convincing Cody that I did it for him. I'm just at a loss. So am I wrong for going behind his back regardless of my intentions? I feel like everything worked out, so I don't understand why I was iced out. And there is an edit, really quick. My fiance was constantly stating how he wished his father was at our wedding, saying things like, "Is it weird? I hope my dad will be there." Like, I feel like I'll probably cry not having my father at my wedding. And also telling his sister that he wouldn't mind if she invited him. He also frequently brought up the subject of his father any time the wedding was brought up, saying how he wishes he wasn't so prideful. It's keeping him from inviting dad. I didn't just randomly get the idea to do it at our wedding. He constantly brought it up. And there is an update. After speaking with my ex's sister, who encouraged me to make the post, I wanted to clear some things up. She's the one who prompted me to write this because I've been hounding her with, "Are you sure I wasn't out of line?" since she was also involved in the conflict, and she kept reassuring me that I wasn't. However, in trying to keep my original post shorter, I left out a lot of information, partly because I wasn't trying to include things I felt were irrelevant, and I wasn't trying to have my ex painted as the bad guy. I just wanted to know if this was on me. Clarify some things. My ex's sister cut him off after his and my conversation in May, which led him to reunite and move in with his father. She and I regularly speak. My ex had a huge habit of never really asking anybody to do anything, but hinting extremely heavily.
You know what I just noticed?
What?
She's calling him her ex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after 3 months.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm relieved.
After
if
3
anything.
months.
Yeah.
Like, man, does steak sound so good tonight? Doesn't steak sound good? I wonder if we have some steak. Until said thing was offered to him or done for him. It's how he's always been. I don't remember him ever directly asking me to do things. It was just known when he wanted something by his guidance, which is what he did for the wedding. Oh, I would love if my dad was there. Love if someone could invite my dad. I think I would cry if my dad wasn't there.
Exactly. And then suddenly when he is and he doesn't know how to handle his own emotions, he's like,
Oh, it's your fault.
oh, so everyone else's fault.
Yep.
I have to be mad at you now.
I have to run away.
Yep.
When we got engaged, he literally hinted for months at how he wanted his father there and how upset he would be if he didn't magically show up. When the car incident happened, James had to file a police report and press charges against Cody in order for his insurance claim to be paid out, so Cody was charged. My ex never apologized to his sister or father for the events that transpired. He blamed them both for taking 3 years of his life. And said he'd apologize when they did, which they never did, obviously. Why would they? Wow. It's shocking to me that James is so welcoming.
Yeah.
When, like when OP said like, oh, he when he was a terrible person, he did this thing.
Right.
Again, it seems like he never grew from that instant. My ex lost his well-paying job back in January after he got a DUI and they let him go. He has not been working since. I have been supporting us. My ex repeatedly made comments about how he'd leave the wedding to go get wasted if his father wasn't there, and how his wedding wouldn't be real without his only living parent there. Update 2. I arranged for James to come pick up Cody's things around noon when I'd be able to leave for a half day from work. Cody ended up coming with him and asked if we could talk, where he said he was willing to forgive me on the basis that I rebuild and earn his trust back. This included allowing him to download an app that allows him to see everything I do on my phone throughout the day. I have to be lenient with him in finding a job because I put him through a lot of trauma in the past few months and he needs to heal. I would also need to allow him to restart a relationship in which we're only in the talking stages and allow it to progress from there if it does. So he wants to go cheat on you.
Yeah.
He's
exactly.
allowed to talk to other people during this period. He's moving back in, but he'll be taking the guest room. His father said nothing to any of this, just sat on the couch and listened with a blank face. When I told Cody that I was not interested in working things out, he kept asking me to repeat myself before blowing up about how I could hurt him so deeply and then not be willing to work it out. I apologized for hurting him, but told him that he had went on about inviting his father for months to the point that I feared punishment if I didn't invite him. He said his sister could have. However, she doesn't want to do anything for him, and she said she'd never invite someone to someone else's wedding. Hence why I felt I had to. By the way, I feel like you have to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. He says he wasn't mad that I invited his father. He was mad that a spectacle wasn't made of the event, which I asked him to elaborate. And he said he thought I'd do like a bride reveal where he turns, but instead of it being me standing there, it was his father and a photo shoot. In reality, he just casually ran into him during the seating period when everyone was arriving. He said I had ruined his dream of the reconnection and betrayed him.
Sure.
I asked them to get his things and leave because the conversation was just so baffling to me. James started to pack, but Cody continued following me around the house, hounding me about why I didn't want to work on things and that I didn't enjoy our life together. I told him he got the relationship with his father that he wanted, and he triggered my abandonment issues when he ghosted me, and that I drained all my love for him. He stormed out, and James finished packing his things. His sister is at work, so I haven't debriefed her yet, but this will probably be the last thing I post about this. And that's the last part of the story. Yeah, OP, stay far away from that guy because that is a giant red flag of a relationship.
Absolutely.
My fiance is still friends with my high school nightmare. When will it end?
Never get out of high school. Never.
My 26 male wife, Becca, 26 female, Her best friend Daria, 26 female, and I all went to high school together, but I ran in a very different social circle. They played sports and were decently well known and popular, and I was really into art and computers, chubby, with an awkward haircut. We all went to a really large high school, so it was more that I knew of them rather than actually knowing them. Becca and Daria have been best friends since they were really young. They both moved into the same neighborhood in preschool, and their parents are very close. By the way, this comes from user Fiancé and Bully Mess. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So in high school, there was a guy, Chris, 26 male, who would regularly bully me. Trigger warning for mentions of bullying. There was a name that Chris and his friends called me based on a thing that happened my sophomore year. It was essentially a trap that Chris and friends had set up so that I would be embarrassed and they could pretend I had done it to myself. I feel like I'm already doing a bad job hiding my identity, so let's just say that the name was Stinky. I hated it. They called me this all the time and made me the butt of many of their jokes. Chris was very popular and was friends with Becca and Daria in high school. Chris was good-looking, wealthy, and he knew it. He walked around like he was untouchable. Insert all of the wealthy, athletic, good-looking stereotypes that you want here. They pretty much all rang true for him. I hated him and hated any time that I had to be around him. I know that a lot of people face some really vicious bullying, so I don't want to make it sound like I was physically tortured or anything, but I did feel like I was relentlessly attacked. I was very thankful and excited to get out of my hometown and away from those people when I went to college. I don't know if it was growing up and growing into myself, the ability to reset my identity, or just getting away from bullies, but I really found myself in college. I'm still a bit nerdy and artistic, but I grew into my body. I started making friends and realized that I had something to offer the world. I rapidly became a lot more confident and comfortable socially. Becca and I ended up going to the same college a few hours away, but she didn't have a car. I offered her a ride home for Thanksgiving break, and it became a habit riding together for breaks, chatting about life and school. We started to become friends, and our friend groups started to combine. In sophomore year, our talks became deeper and more personal. I realized I was into her on the way home for Christmas and asked her on a date over break. We've now been together almost 7 years, engaged for the last year. We have a strong relationship, communicate well, and go on regular dates and trips. And we have supported each other throughout numerous ups and downs. We've had our fights over the years and even did some counseling together for about a year. I was bringing my parents' passive-aggressive style of fighting into our relationship, and she was assuming I was criticizing her all the time because of her mom's crappy behavior. We found those times to be challenging but helpful in the long run. I love this woman and am excited to get married and spend our lives together. Becca and Daria reconnected after college and now own a business together that plans events and helps connect people and businesses to local food, drinks, and experiences. Their business really took off in the year before the vid, and they've been slowly but steadily growing back as things have been opening up. They've started to enter into a number of exclusive contracts with event spaces and restaurants or breweries. In a market where things can turn quickly, these deals are super important to them as they provide a lot of security for the company. Becca came home about 2 months ago really excited about a new brewery exploring an exclusive deal. About a week later, the brewery signed and there was a dinner to celebrate. Becca asked if I wanted to come and meet the team from the brewery. She told me that I might have met the owner before, but I guess I didn't think to ask who it was because I didn't know who it was going into the dinner. If you're still with me, you can probably guess who the brewery owner is.
Oh no.
It's Chris. It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
It's either
And
Chris
I'm so
Dana.
scared, dude. I feel this so deeply. I'm terrified.
I was sitting at the table with Becca waiting for the rest of the group to arrive when Chris came through the door, walked up to the table, greeted Becca, and then turned to me and said, "Hi, Stinky." That's actually crazy.
Catching hands.
I would be so pissed.
Oh, you know, that
He's-
was so long ago. He loves that nickname.
Yeah, I was literally hoping it was like, oh my gosh, like, hey, sorry for
Yeah.
everything we did in high school. Like, I'm sorry
Yeah.
we were so mean to you. But he just comes in swinging.
Nah, literally the only appropriate response to that is, "What's up, asshole?"
Yeah.
I was immediately confused and angry. She knew that I knew Chris, and she knew that he had bullied me throughout high school, but she didn't mention at any point prior that he was the owner of the brewery and that she was working closely with him. I got through dinner, but on the way home, when I asked why she didn't tell me, she blew it off as though it was water under the bridge, that I had changed, and I should understand that Chris had changed too. He literally didn't change at all. He called him Stinky. Immediately.
Not at all. He's probably in there with his varsity jacket on.
I was still upset by all of this, but I tried to let bygones be bygones. Over the next couple of weeks, it was clear that Daria and Chris were becoming romantically involved with each other. Becca and I usually spend 2 or 3 nights a week with Daria, whether going out or simply watching TV at our house or hers. We often joke that we're a throuple, but to be clear, that is not the case. And what we have is strictly platonic. Over the last month or so, Chris started showing up to nights out and even came over one night to Daria's house when we were hanging out and watching TV. I've tried to be open to a new Chris, but he seems like he's the same overly macho, trying too hard to be alpha, POS, that he was all those years ago. I tried to bring up to Becca that the casual relationship between Daria and Chris is probably not good for their business, and while Becca agreed, she felt like she couldn't tell her friend not to date or be with someone. Last week, Becca invited me along to an industry event. I got there to unfortunately find Chris is there as well. I tried to be friendly and nice. We got a table for the four of us and had some drinks and food. At one point, the girls left to network with a couple of potential clients. Then, out of nowhere, Chris started talking about how this event might be a good place for him and Daria to find a woman to have a ménage à trois with. Caught completely off guard, I asked him what he was talking about, and he said that he and Daria want to have another ménage à trois and that I should know all about that. I was super confused and asked what he was talking about, and he proceeded to tell me that he, Daria, and Becca had a couple of them in high school. And it's worse than I thought.
Oh my god.
It's worse than I thought. I thought he was just going to ask. They did this. It already happened.
Oh my
Ew,
god.
Gross. Ew, gross. Ew, gross.
He's like,
ew, gross.
You freaked it with my high school bully. That's while he was bullying me. That's
Gross.
freaking crazy.
And he figured that I was having menage a trois with two girls as well. I felt blindsided and didn't know what to say. When we got home, Becca already knew I was upset about something and asked me what was wrong. I told her about what Chris had said, and she tried to deny it at first. We're breaking up, but then told me that it was partially true. What Becca told me was that Daria and Chris were friends with benefits for a bit. At the end of senior year / right before college, Chris and Daria spent a few weeks talking with her about having said three with them, but she was on the fence. At a party when everyone was tipsy, it was brought up again, and it happened. She went to the bedroom with them. Note for Mod, I was 18 at the time. Apparently, yeah, it was pee-pees out, kissy touchy, but then Becca backed out of having the spicy sleep and instead watched them. On Thanksgiving break of freshman year, the three talked about going all the way with it, but ended up not being able to find a free time for all of them. Daria then got a boyfriend, and it was never brought up again. All of this was news to me. In addition to not really coming into myself until college, I was a late bloomer in terms of relationships. Becca was my first everything. I knew and wasn't upset that she had had spicy sleep before us, but we had never really gone into the when or who of that. Becca keeps saying that I never asked, and she never lied about all this, but especially with doing business with Chris, it feels like lying by omission to me. I'm struggling with all this. Chris did his best to make my life awful in high school, and now he's back. Almost every time I spend time with him, he seems to be belittling me and making fun of me. He even told Becca in front of me that she could do better than me and was dating down. She told me later that it was just a joke and to stop being so sensitive. It seems like the three thing is just one more thing that he can hold over me, and always seems to say the worst stuff to me when Becca and Daria are just out of earshot. We've been arguing about this situation for about a week now. I asked Becca to cut all contact with him last night. He told me I was being unreasonable. He's with her best friend and they all do business together. Yeah, y'all have done a lot of business together. He's been all up in your business, hasn't he?
All up in each other's business.
Which is, again, is not really that big of a deal, but it's like, given the context of everything, the fact that she's not being empathetic or sympathetic.
It's a big deal.
We're not huge.
Because the whole, like, honestly, the stuff about things being like before, after a relationship or something like that, that's almost like a legal thing. That's almost like, yeah, legally you didn't cheat on me. Legally, you know, using that word loosely, thinking of legal laws and relationship laws, right? It's like, yeah, okay, if you hook up with someone a few days after we dated, sure, you didn't technically cheat on me, but I'm still mad, you know? Or like,
yeah, that you're not
before.
getting it.
Also, too, like, so they started dating sophomore year. Freshman year of college that they were talking about this stuff. This is while probably they are driving together on breaks and stuff because they had to have done that before.
No, I think they met
dating.
really in sophomore year.
They met in sophomore year?
I think it was like
okay.
like, so it was like,
so I won't pull that.
All of that stuff happened before them, but like, it's just the fact that they've been together for 7 years. She clearly knows about the dynamic that they had.
Yeah.
And is now treating this like it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Given everything, it's like,
and yeah, totally disregarding
Come on.
his feelings. Like I feel like she doesn't have to do what OP says. Like I feel like it is unfair for him to be like, cut contact. Because I'm just a big believer of like, if you don't want that, you have to leave. You can't like make someone else do that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
It's still like she wasn't even sensitive about the bullying at all.
I asked if it was that Daria and her need his brewery's contract. Keeps asking me why I can't move on and accept that Chris is a different person. And we have some comments here. Comment number 1, Chris has changed, quote unquote. But the first thing he said to him was, "Hi, Stinky?" Yeah, right. A reply. First thing should have been, "I'm sorry, I was so crap at you in high school." Another comment says, OP should have flipped out as soon as Chris called him Stinky. OP let Chris run roughshod over him. Chris basically negged OP in his girlfriend's eyes. Not that she needed any help in lusting after Chris, but OP needs to learn from this and stand up for himself, especially when it's very uncomfortable. That's a lesson for life. And there's an update. About 3 months ago, I made a post here about my fiancé doing business and hanging out with a former bully. In that post, I wrote that I wasn't looking to break up with my fiancé. Rather, I was looking at how to fix things. Almost all the comments were about how I needed to break up with this girl, call her out on her manipulative BS, etc., etc. I was really pissed with the majority of advice I got and figured Reddit didn't know what they were talking about. I guess those would be famous last words. In the week after I made my initial post, Becca and I seemed to have a daily fight about her and Chris. I came home from work one day after having a long fight the night before to find Becca not in our house. OP says, "This wasn't surprising in the moment since she works a really irregular schedule, but then I noticed that a bunch of her things were missing."
There's
And
no
it's-
way she can quit before I fire her. There's no way. She's
Again,
not allowed.
You're better off, you're better off without this person.
Yeah.
In your life and without this person being your fiance, you're better off. Like letting the guy walk all over you is not gonna help with the situation. I tried to text her, making sure she was okay, and got a long text in response about how she was going to stay with her sister and how she needed some space, and for me not to contact her for a few days. I was confused, frustrated, and upset, but figured that if all she needed was some space, hopefully that would be what could get our relationship back on track. The next night, Daria texted me asking if she could come over to talk. When she got there, she told me she had been a bad friend to me. Basically, there were a number of things she felt like she should tell me, but didn't know where to draw the line between her friendship with me and her friendship with Becca. We talked for a few more hours and multiple things came out. First, a few months before, Becca told Daria that she was doubting our relationship. Becca told her that she felt like we had gotten together so young that she was missing out on experiences by being with me. You mean like the experiences you had in high school?
The experiences that she passed up on right before she got into this relationship?
Note, Becca never said anything about this to me. When I was thinking later about what Daria had told me this night, I remembered that months prior, Becca had this really weird week where she was really distant and kept asking me questions about what it was about her that made me want to get married. She told me later that she had just been in a weird headspace, and I kind of forgot about those conversations. When Becca and Daria first met with Chris, Becca was really flirty with him. In their industry/work connections, it's not uncommon for people to do things like that and be a bit flirty, a little touchy with each other, or talk about their spicy lives. This was always something I've found weird and been uncomfortable with, but I knew it to be a culture of the industry.
What industry is this?
That doesn't sound right. Like hospitality,
brewery.
bartering, restaurants.
I mean, restaurant industry, that is honestly a very like stereotypical thing that is true. But like, you don't have to be okay with that. You know, you don't have to participate of that when you are engaged.
Jimmy comes down to the bar. "Hey, Jimmy, here's your beer. When's the last time you got laid, man? All right, tell me about it. How's it
Yeah.
going?"
I mean, working in restaurants, people get close, but like, I don't know. This is
Yeah.
different. It's like
I don't
it's like a
know.
partnership. Like you're coming in.
I'm gonna call
It'd be
Restaurant
like if
I
like the
was
person
in
who like
was
sold
weird.
wine to your bar
Rex is a
was like
bartender. Am I?
telling you about how like they want to, how they just had a 3.
Oh, did that happen?
That was not unlike my place that I worked at.
Okay, I did work as a waiter, and this one girl did say something crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of, there were like a few managers where I worked, all at least 40. Well, one of them was maybe 30, and there was a wine guy, 32.
Eesh.
I heard so much about their relationships. Not a lot about like details like that, but
Yeah.
definitely the 32-year-old got weird. For
I
sure.
had a former manager who got fired because he bought an employee lingerie without any consent or asking, and she was
Yeah.
like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And he's just like,
And
"I
I've
thought
had
your
weird-
boyfriend would like it."
You think
and
there's
it's
Weird
like,
policies
grabs
against
in
that here?
passing.
Huh?
What'd you say?
So, do you think there's policies against that here?
we have to talk to Christian about that.
And if the relationship starts before, is that allowed?
I've just been waiting for Christian to buy me lingerie, honestly.
Me too.
But in this case, Daria said it went enough with Chris that she noticed that it was strange. Once Daria told Becca that she had started hooking up with Chris, Becca would regularly ask for details, so much so that Daria told me she started lying to Becca, saying that their hookups were happening less frequently than they actually were, so she wouldn't be hounded for details. A week or so before Becca and I fought about her connection with Chris, Becca was hounding Daria for details on the latest hookup and casually dropped that they should have a threesome with Chris. So wait, Chris was low-key. Was Chris trying to big dog like him, being like, dude, you should know this because we're looking for a threesome and you should probably be aware.
No. Chris isn't that kind of guy. Chris is not a man. He's
What
not
are
a-
you saying?
No, yeah, you're right. No, I'm not going to give him
Yeah,
that. You're
yeah,
right, because
yeah.
it would have been crystal clear if he was doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Daria said that she was super uncomfortable and immediately brought up Becca and my relationship. Becca said that she was just joking, but she made the same joke 3 or 4 other times until Daria said directly to her it made her uncomfortable and she needed to stop. Then she got to the biggest thing. On the night that Becca left, she showed up wasted at Chris's place. He let her in, and then she tried to sleep with him. I guess Daria was in the bedroom or something because after a bit, Daria came out to see Becca trying to grab at Chris, so they worked together to shove her out of the house. Angry, sad, and confused, I packed my crap and left. I left our place. I didn't want to be there in case she came back, so I stayed with a friend for a bit. I didn't try to reach out to Becca and didn't hear from her either. About 2 weeks after Daria came to talk, my mom passed away. She had had a stroke years ago and had been declining for a long time. Her passing wasn't unexpected, but that didn't mean that it wasn't super hard. It was always just me and mom growing up. I was struggling a lot and felt so alone. I almost called Becca a number of times. The day of the funeral, Becca showed up.
And Chris was there too.
I'd be like, excuse me, Mr. Funeral Director, can we have another hole dug? That was a funny joke.
That was funny. I laughed.
Nah,
But-
two. We got to get Chris in there too.
That
There's the balls to show up to the funeral after you've done that to him and lied and tried
feel
to
like-
sleep with his literal high school bully.
I feel like it's just like she either showed up or she didn't. Whatever action she took was going to be bad.
I don't think so. I think not showing up would be
Yeah.
the right thing.
Leave
I
me
think-
alone forever.
Yeah, I think if they had the kind of breakup where it was like, oh, we really love each other, it's just we just want different things, something like that, then like, okay, I can understand her showing up because it's like, okay, hey, as a friend, if they decide to like, be nice to each other, as a friend, like I kind of want to be there for you. I was there for you a lot with that relationship. I knew your mom and loved her, you know what I mean? But this is not how that breakup went down. That breakup was she effed up hard for the whole relationship, pretty much, or
Yeah.
at least a big chunk of it, and lied about it all when he finds out after. Also, she was leaving. It wasn't even like he was like, no, you're done. And she was begging for him to stay. She literally just packed her things. Didn't even say anything.
she packed her stuff up.
Yeah.
At first, I was happy to see her. She was by my side much of the day. I was thankful she was there. Things felt normal with her there. I felt secure. It felt like we were together again, a team again. Then, when people were coming up to me after the burial, Becca said to one of my old neighbors about how sad we were, how hard it's been on us, and how we've needed to rely on each other. It was as though there was fog in my head that instantly cleared. I started flipping out on her. In hindsight, I feel bad about the scene that I caused at my own mother's funeral.
Don't. Your mom, no one else deserves to be there. That's not true. But like, no, it doesn't matter.
It was more Becca's fault, I would say. But I couldn't believe she was pretending that we were together and that she had been supporting me and that she hadn't tried to F another guy a couple of weeks ago. I was really happy that my cousin stepped in and told her to leave. And by the way, don't you even think about leaving because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime wherever you listen to podcasts, and you never have to stop the juicy drama gravy train because there's 69, yes, you heard me right, 69 days
We made it.
worth of stories to listen to.
Yeah.
You've done nothing wrong.
This is how
I'm
I'm
glad you
feeling
blew
right
up. I'm glad the cousins stepped in. Don't even feel bad. It was your mom's funeral, I know, but it's like, you know what? It's the funeral happened and she's gone. Your mom's not going to have any hard feelings about it. I blocked her on everything. Since my fiance and mom were the only things keeping me in that area, a little over a week after the funeral, I packed up and moved to the East Coast where my cousin lives. I've been here for a little under 2 months. I wish I could say that I'm in a job making a lot more money or that I have a hot new girlfriend, but it's been a bit of a struggle to settle in. Dude, it's only been 2 months. I'm in my same job working remotely, but do need to travel to my home city every few weeks. I feel anxious there, worried that I'll run into Chris or Becca. My cousin has tried to be welcoming, and I'm thankful he's given me a landing pad as I've looked for my own place here, but him and his friends are older, and they're mostly focused on family life and kids, so it's been hard to make friends. I've signed up for a volleyball tours league through this fall, so hopefully there's some good people there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Great thing to do.
Yeah, you gotta find something. I want to thank this community for giving me hard truth. I've had plenty of DMs checking in on me, which I'm mostly thankful for. This last season has been probably the hardest and darkest of my life, but I feel decently hopeful for what's ahead. And that is the end of that story and a great example of the indomitable human spirit, being able to be hopeful about what's coming down the pipeline after all that.
Exactly.
You're already right where you need to be, brother.
Yep.
My ex-fiance ghosted me before our wedding, and now she wants to reconcile.
Oh, I think you're a little too late for that, Missy.
That's just a little too late. My 38 female ex-fiance ghosted me, 39 male, before our wedding. I was never given an explanation. She just left and told nobody. It was literally right before our big wedding ceremony. She didn't leave a note, nothing. She just left. Even her family was baffled. She just up and left. We had dated all through high school and all through college. And by the way, this comes from user Throwaway and Ghosting Adventure. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do in this situation. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, she eventually returned, but not to me. I had to learn via third party, her parents, that she had no intentions of coming home. She wanted nothing to do with me and told her parents to avoid having me around. I never got a choice in the matter. I respected her wishes. Yeah, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
She's just like, I want nothing to do with my fiance I was going to marry. It's like, okay.
Right. I'm going to beg for that back? Should probably move this, huh?
You're going to have to live with that now, which is, I guess, fair, fine, or whatever. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yep.
It's not your fault, or it could be, but you can't do that. This is a conversation that needs to happen before the day of the wedding.
Yep, exactly.
I never understood why she did it. My only guess was she had a mental breakdown because she cut off all contact with everyone. We were both young and still growing. I don't know, but I've struggled with it since. Out of the blue, she DM'd me on Facebook after all these years and wanted to meet up. It was an influx of emotions: anger, nervousness, hope, sadness. I still had feelings for her. I didn't know if I could take her back, but looking at her Facebook made me miss her. She looked even better than before, and she was single.
Ruh-roh.
I don't know, brother. I think it's time to let this one go.
Who's to say?
I was conflicted. She wouldn't talk about why she left. She said it was best to do so in person. And the only thing I could tell from her Facebook was a bunch of posts about her being weak, living a life full of shame and regret, and being lonely. This was dumb. She ghosted me, and I should want nothing to do with her, but dang it, I still had feelings for her, and I never stopped thinking about her. What should I do? Ghost her in return? Call her out? See where this date takes us? And there's some comments. But what would y'all say? I say get info. I just want to get the perspective.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely want to know and possibly hear her out, but I would probably be coming into it with a whole lot of doubt and a whole lot of protection for yourself. You know,
Let's have a seance with this ghost. Let's get some information.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. I think you really just need to keep in mind that this is maybe not someone that you should go back to, even if you want to.
Yeah.
And if she's posting about, all these things that she's done and being shameful and regretful and just feeling bad about herself, if she's posting about all of that online, it doesn't seem like she's maybe in the best mental health space right now. So I wouldn't trust it just yet.
Yeah. Comments. Comment 1. First off, dang, OP, that's rough. 16 years is a long time. Would meeting up with her set you back in the time you've spent getting over this? Or will it give you the closure you never found? OP says, I don't know. I just want closure. For the longest time, I thought she had cheated on me. But the only things I've been told from her family and the few friends she didn't cut off, it was more like MNTB, aka mental breakdown.
MNTB.
Quick little MNTB. I know she was very scared about the wedding and her looming finals and her career. She was beyond stressed, and she ghosted everyone, but gradually came back. However, I was never involved. I have never stopped thinking of her. Reply says, are you single? Closure can only be found within yourself. If you've not moved on in 16 years, therapy will help you more than meeting with her. You two were barely even adults when she abandoned you, and she is now approaching midlife crisis age and trying to go back to when she was a kid with you. because she hasn't managed to grow and mature into a person she's satisfied with. It sounds like you have been similarly stunted. Cut contact and find therapy. Comment 2 says, I'm sorry, but 16 years is not a mental breakdown. She bailed and doesn't deserve any closure with you. Go ahead and meet with her, but all it'll do is keep giving you what ifs. 1 to 2 years would be a breakdown. 16 years is like you never knew the person in the first place. Comment 3 says, ask her to write a letter to you about what happened. Then read it and decide if you want to meet in person. And there's an update. I don't know if I would do the letter thing.
Yeah, I feel like just tell me in person.
Yeah, I'm going to be able to sense more of like, all right, how much of this is a lie? What's real?
Right.
How are you actually acting, responding
Right.
in person? I'm going to be able to tell that.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have an update.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like doing it for closure isn't really a reason. I kind of agree that with that commenter that's like closure only really comes from yourself. I feel like people do a lot of things for closure and like talking to exes and stuff like that when maybe they shouldn't. In this case, I still wouldn't call it closure, but I'm just curious and I want to know what happens. So I vote talk to her.
Yes, you got to do a little digging.
Yep.
16 years needs something, but you got to make sure that it's not going to like bite you,
Exactly.
you know, on the back end.
Exactly.
Hope says, well, that was something. I got closure at least.
Uh-oh.
We met at a cafe and sat outside to talk. The first thing I noticed was how much pain was in her face. Long story short, she wanted to break up long before the wedding, but she was too weak and cowardly to speak up for herself. She had a complete nervous breakdown over everything. She had been tired of being forced into doing things she never wanted to do and never having the guts to stand up for herself. She was mad at her family for pressuring her to get married and pump out kids, and she was mad at them for forcing her into a degree she didn't want, and she was mad at herself for not being able to speak up. Nothing she did was justified, which we agreed on. When I first proposed to her, I did it in a public area. I had put her on the spot, and she wanted to say no, but she couldn't bear to see me hurt. She was right. I made all the choices for her. I was a very different person back then, and she was very meek, meaning she just went with the flow and had no backbone. I drowned her voice out often and never gave her the chance to grow into a person. Back then, I was focused only on myself. Eventually, everything came to a climax, and she had a complete mental breakdown. She ran away from her problems at the behest of her best friend, the only person in the world she ever trusted. She said the only thing she knew how to do was run. She never had the spine to speak up, and her life spiraled downwards. She was homeless for a few years after her best friend's husband exiled her from their place. The rest of that time was spent in prison, though she didn't specify what she did.
Oh, wow.
She was released about a year ago and has been turning her life around. She has a job, she's reconnected with her parents, and she's finally reconnecting with me. She never stopped trying to get in touch with me. As for our future, we have none. We both agreed to end things and go our separate ways. We're both changed, and we're both two different people. We have nothing in common anymore and don't live near each other. She doesn't justify what she did, nor does she want to be forgiven. She thinks it's repulsive and is ashamed of her action. I wanted to be angry, but I really couldn't be. I just forgave her. And by the way, I'll forgive you. For anything, as long as you listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime and you can listen to the full archive. And we have a little bit more story left.
I'm so shocked right now. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
To that one comment that was saying like, you know, a few years is a mental breakdown, but 16 years? Yeah, apparently 16 years is still a mental breakdown.
Well, and to be fair, I think that they were saying like it was more like the impetus of the running away from the wedding was a mental breakdown, not that she was in a constant mental breakdown for 16 years.
Well, yes.
But yeah, it's
yeah, I mean like
because I think that's what that comment was trying to imply.
Oh,
it was like 16 years isn't a mental breakdown. Like that was a choice. It's like, no, I think they were saying that a mental breakdown caused the initial split and ghosting.
Right.
And then clearly she went through a lot. And now, yeah, y'all are different people. But you just needed this conversation to realize, like, all right,
just to explain
over.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's just proof that, like, you truly don't know the whole story, man. There's things can happen that are so insane and crazy wazy and you just don't even know. Life is pretty cuckoo, man.
Crazy wazy. Let's finish this story then.
Whew.
This crazy wazy storazy. With that, we shook hands, said our goodbyes, and that will likely be the last time we ever see one another. It's bittersweet because I got the closure I wanted. I mean, we both did. It feels like a burden was released. I know now we never had a future together and never will, but on the other hand, I'm sad because it's all over. All these years of hoping something would happen were for nothing. But in the end, this is an ending, and I finally have closure. Not many get to say that. Do I believe her story? Yes, I do. And even if she's full of it, at this point, does it even matter? I've always known her to be very weak-willed and meek. She often just does what everyone else tells her to do and runs when things get too difficult. She avoids her problems because she's too weak to stand up to them. It makes sense why her family wouldn't talk to me about her. They were the typical tiger parents who disowned their problem child. Comments. Comment 1. Although a lot of time has been lost for either of them, it seems odd that no one noticed the situation of her problems earlier on. It is explained in the post, but it still sounds weird. And the reply says it sounds like she was repressing a lot, bottling it up. Her friend, though, she should have been the one to see it. OP says her friend was an enabler. I mean, we all were. Her friend was the only one who encouraged her to run. Of course, nobody forced her to. It was all her. If I hadn't ignored her problems, and if I actually had been a part of her life, I might have seen it, but it is what it is. And that is the end of that story.
My fiance said my love was fake, and now things aren't the same.
He sounds fake.
Trigger warning, mentions of abuse. My significant other and I have been together for almost 8 years now. We have 2 children. We have a great relationship in all other aspects, other than him being insecure. I'm not sure how much more I can take. His insecurities have really had a big impact on my mental health. By the way, this comes from No Following 8085, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I have previously lived in a long-term relationship that was harmful, so this behavior is really triggering for me. I know he is much different from my ex, and I know the red flags to look out for. I also know what he's doing is not okay, and my SO openly admits to his wrongdoing. He acknowledges how wrong his behavior is and ends up in a cycle with guilt and shame, which causes him to have an even lower self-esteem. It breaks my heart. He's currently getting assessed for autism. Our child has been diagnosed and he shows many signs. He's also started taking anxiety medication and is waiting on a referral for a therapist. He really is trying to put in the work. However, I don't know if it's gone too far at this point because I'm at the point that I'm feeling disgusted with him. Well, that's not a great sign.
Oh no.
I only started feeling this disgust recently after an incident had occurred. What happened was that we were actually having a great weekend together. The Friday night was a beautiful night at camp together. We were bonding and spending the evening by the fire. It was another great night to add to the books. The next night, however, we were a little more burnt out. So after the kids went down, we didn't stay too long by the fire. When we got to bed early enough, instead of being intimate, I kind of went on my phone and just zoned out and watched some video. We don't do this all the time, probably about 1 to 2 nights per week, but it isn't uncommon for us. The next morning, he seemed off, and I knew something was wrong. By the time he talked about it with me, he said that our love felt fake. He expressed that he feels like he pours more into the relationship than I do. Keep in mind, I've been a stay-at-home mom, and I also have a part-time work at home as well, along with caring for the house and kids. And I give him a lot of love in many different ways. I was shocked to hear this and heartbroken. I have given so much in our relationship. I pour my heart and soul into our family and him. This incident sent me over the edge. We stayed calm and talked it through as we always do, but I just can't get over it. I have many insecurity and jealousy stories, and I've spent so much time in our relationship compromising. For example, I have a cute white top I took some photos in and posted on Facebook. He was quiet for 2 days, and when he finally opened up, he expressed that he was really upset about my outfit. He thinks that I'm looking for attention online, and he doesn't like when I wear tops like that. I really don't care what you like.
Is the therapy working?
It doesn't seem to be. I'm sorry, you don't have a say about what I wear.
Not at all. And OP, I think maybe just for the sake of your stress and stuff, some therapy for you too.
Yeah.
Could just help a little bit.
It was a tank top with ruffles. He said it looked like lingerie. Another time, I wore a white skirt with white shorts underneath, and he was not happy about that either. This is controlling.
Yeah,
this is controlling.
Too much.
You're not wearing actual lingerie online.
Right.
Different.
Ruffles certainly don't make it lingerie.
No, just because you're wearing a tank top and a skirt does not mean that he can be upset about that.
Yeah.
You're wearing clothes. So I basically had to compromise and not wear those items anymore. That's actually not a compromise. I don't know if we've looked up what a compromise is. That's not one.
Him saying, I don't want you to do that, and you going, okay.
Is not a compromise. He admits that it took him a lot to admit that it's wrong, but he finally did. kid and still wants me to respect his boundaries. So I sacrificed my comfort for his. Another incident is when he worked out of town. My neighbor usually comes by outside with their little ones to play with our kids. His wife happened to not be home either this time, and his kids were asking to play. It was a beautiful summer day. While the kids played, my neighbor and I stayed outside in an open yard, corner lot where all the neighbors could see us, and sat at a table and had a few drinks while the kids played. We chatted and hung out. By 7:30 p.m., he brought his kids back home and I brought mine in for bedtime. My SO was so upset about this. We had hours of discussion and disagreements on this one. At one point, I had agreed that maybe the neighbor overstayed his welcome, but it wasn't inappropriate. We were in a public space hanging out. I expressed to him that I feel like we should be able to be around other people without problems like this. And he's only feeling this way because he feels threatened and insecure. He has admitted that it's true and knows it's wrong, but I should still compromise and want to be supportive and hold back because he isn't comfortable and that's his boundary. You don't get to have boundaries where you literally know you both agree that they're wrong.
He's like, I'm totally wrong. I demand you do this though. That's my boundary. No.
So I have. Stop! I respect him and what he's going through. I told him I wouldn't do that again. I do think his mental health struggles are important, and I think it's fair that I make these small compromises. But these small compromises are building up.
And these are pretty big ones too. Like
Yes,
controlling
they're not
what
even
you
that
wear
small.
is a big one.
That is a big, and it's not a compromise. Let's change the verbiage. You are making sacrifices. They're not compromises. You are sacrificing parts of your freedom for his comfort, and sometimes in a relationship that is needed in some ways. But this is not one of them.
I hope this is what's being discussed in some of his therapy sessions.
I sure hope so. He also checks my phone often, almost daily or every second day. Not okay. In all fairness, I do have access to his phone as well. I have previously looked on it, but I really don't go often. I feel like I can easily never look on it again, and I would be fine because I trust him. And this leaves me feeling like he really doesn't trust me. When I've gone on it in the past, he would make comments about when I do look at his phone. It makes him feel like I care.
Oh.
So it seems like he sees...
I think he sees love a lot in like the controlling manner.
Possessiveness, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's ridiculous. I don't care any less because I don't look through your phone. I just trust you more, if anything. One time he got mad at me for looking at another guy on the way into a grocery store.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't even realize I was looking at someone else. Even if I did look, we're all human and have eyes. It doesn't mean I was intentionally trying to be disloyal. Anyways, my point is there's plenty more of these issues, but after the last incident where he made a comment about my love and affection feeling fake, I feel like I'm so over it and I don't know how to come back to being supportive. I'm calling around today for couples counseling, which he agreed to. I feel a lot of guilt and like an a-hole saying this, but I really hope that I'm able to get over this feeling of not wanting anything to do with his problems anymore. I'm truly at my breaking point. Any advice is welcome. And there are some comments. What you're dealing with is his insecurity, which is turning into control. It's clear that he struggles with self-esteem and is trying to self-correct, admitting when he's wrong. However, the reality is that his behavior still limits your freedom and puts you in a constant position of managing his emotions. It's possible for someone to both be hurting and to hurt you. Insecurity might be the root, but when it comes to checking your phone, dictating what you wear, or questioning your love, that's controlling. Intent doesn't erase impact. Counseling is a good step, but you're not wrong for feeling like you're at the end of your rope. Seems like you've compromised a lot already, and it's okay to say enough. Supporting his mental health doesn't mean sacrificing your own. If the disgust you feel doesn't go away, that's your boundary telling you this may not be sustainable, no matter how much he admits fault. You can tell him that you support him while he or both of you go to counseling, but if things don't change, you'll have to make a decision, and there is an update. It really doesn't matter how much he admits fault if he keeps doing the same things.
He's not learning from anything, and he's really not taking any, like, admitting the fault isn't taking and like fixing the behavior.
It's not in the slightest. Update. He sure took a lot of time to process things, but after about a day and a half, he came around to accepting the new boundaries I put in place, thanks to one of the commenters on this post. Yay! Thank goodness, because I was truly afraid for our relationship. I'm honestly relieved and proud of myself for standing up for myself and not sacrificing my comfort and happiness for his. We both deserve a healthy relationship, and I'm glad we're working towards that goal. By the way, you can work towards listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Really don't have much to add. I hope that it stays in the right direction and things go better.
Same. And you can only tell in time. He also booked our first couples therapy session and therapy for himself.
I thought he was doing that already.
I guess not quite. He's also still waiting for his autism diagnosis, which is likely what causes the majority of his overthinking. Not an excuse, but just helps us to understand why he struggles so much. He also recently got his anxiety medication, which has slowly began helping him in this slump. I'm also proud of his efforts. It means a lot that he acknowledges his wrongdoings and feels deep empathy for how it's been affecting me, and that he's taking steps to do better. Action always speaks louder than words. And that is the end of the story.
I thought you guys were already doing therapy, so I'm glad you're
actually doing therapy now. And good luck. I hope that it actually works this time.
Good luck.
And just be very aware of, when he's actually changing and what he just says he's going to do. But that's the end of that story, so we're going to get into the next one.
My fiance's best friend tried to ruin my life, so I proved her wrong.
Good luck trying to ruin this life.
Trigger warning mentions of a few months ago, my fiance's friend accused me of lying about parts of my past and said I was her mentally and soon physically. My fiance, shocked after hearing this, confronted me about it, and I provided proof of everything. Screenshots, photos, and text conversations with these people without getting defensive or angry. I was shocked and pissed. Yes, but not at my fiance. By the way, this comes from Playful Command 15. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we do not have all the answers. And if you have any quips or ideas or comments, put them down below. We'd love to read them. So, OP says, my fiance went back to tell her friend to stop, as she believed me and chose to stay with me. Even my fiance's family believed me about all of this, and even begged the friend to stop and to drop it. But this person was so sure, so convinced about her claims, that she called my jobs multiple times and asked if anything happened with certain workers. My work got involved and launched an investigation, which put me on suspension from getting my compensation for 4 months, screwing up my pay and my fiance's badly. My job told her they couldn't give more information about employees, but she decided that meant I was lying. I admit it. I was a very violent kid. I was angry at the world and grew up in a bad home situation. I got help and worked on myself for years. I'm better now. All of this was over 14 years ago, and I'm not that same person anymore. But now, this person is spreading all this debunked information to my fiance's friend group, and instead of going to her to ask more questions, they all pushed her aside like it was nothing. She's been depressed for a while and is scared all of her friends will stop hanging out with her or talking with her anymore. They've been her rock for years. I don't know what to do. I was thinking of taking a step back and taking a break, but that would feel wrong on my end. I also feel like this is partly my fault since I didn't tell my fiance some parts of my past because I'm still working through them in therapy. She knew I was a violent kid and that I didn't grow up in the best place, but she knows all the major stuff and understood that I would have told her everything in time. I feel like this person is jealous of our relationship because she waited until after I proposed. We've been together for over 3 years, both currently over 25 and living together, to throw all this at her. On top of that, she waited until my fiance was alone and away from me. My fiance had gone on a trip with her family and stayed at her family's place the night before since they were leaving early in the morning. They even told my fiance that the friend was jealous of our relationship. I really don't know. I don't know what to say or do at this point. I feel like I'm spiraling. It's making my fiance and me feel crazy. I don't know what else to do about this, and I need another perspective or any advice. My fiance's family knows about this because she told them what's happening. She was at their home crying and in shock about the accusations, so her mom asked her to explain. It's her mom's idea to call me and ask about it, as my fiance was worried I'd be defensive or yell at her due to the past relationship trauma. The friend was never interested in my fiance's past relationship. My fiance had been in a few bad ones. Some partners even her in front of this friend, and she did nothing during that time. She only said something after they broke up. They had been friends for over 10 years, and before all this, they were best friends, FaceTiming weekly and very close. Why didn't I go to the cops sooner? I was dealing with family issues, including my dad attacking me, which led me to getting a restraining order since he knew where I lived. My fiance and this friend had always been close until these last few months. She has stood her ground and told this friend a few times to stop, but the friend said I needed psychological help. Joke's on her, I'm still in therapy 14 years later and getting better. And that my fiance was blind for not seeing the truth. When my fiance confronted her about calling my job and messing up my pay, she wasn't even sorry. The stuff I was accused of, apparently, I lied about my friend's passing, which this person thought I made it up, even though it happened 6 to 7 years ago. She also thought I made up my ex, who I was with for 2 years before meeting my fiance.
Wait, did you just say she's accusing you of making up a person who passed away who did pass away?
Yeah. That ex used to treat me horribly. I still have scars, oh my gosh, on me from what she did. But this friend didn't believe me because there were no police reports or photos online. It was ridiculous. As for my job, they're protecting me, but my reputation is ruined. I'm only staying until I find something better. Customers and some coworkers can't even look at me because they think I'm and an awful person. It's a small field, so word travels fast. My company can protect me only so much. An update. So we got a little glimpse into what was said.
Well,
What is this vengeful act all about? What was her side of it? I need to know her evil plan.
I don't know, but if this is all, if she's making claims that's affecting your ability to make your money at your job and your reputation and stuff, like that's probably prosecutable. I don't know if that's, I don't know if I would even advise going down that path. I don't know if it would bear any fruit anyway.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I would probably focus 100% of my energy in getting things straight with my job and making sure that that is not at risk in any way.
Update. Last night, after our weekly dinner date, I asked my fiance if we could talk about this whole situation with her now ex-friend. She agreed. I told her I know we're supposed to go look at wedding venues, but we need to put that on hold until this is done. She agreed completely. I told her I'm not comfortable with this friend and that she needs to either minimize contact or cut it off entirely because it's clear she was trying to ruin our relationship. I told her that no matter what I do, this person will always see me as violent. My fiance understood and actually wanted to talk about it too. She finally had a conversation with her close friend group and learned that this friend was spreading lies about everything. She told them the truth with screenshots as proof, and they were shocked. They said things like, if you were really mistreated, we'd have helped you, but clearly that's not the case. They treat you so well, and you guys never seem to have problems. What she's saying is insane. A lot of other lies were uncovered, and her friends apologized, cried together, and even messaged me personally to say that they were sorry and couldn't imagine how painful this was for me. They all decided to confront this friend and get to the bottom of why she did this in the first place. I also talked to the cops and was told I have a case to press intimidation charges. I was going to talk to my company's lawyer, but my boss, who I love dearly, gave me his personal lawyer. Oh my. Now I have a meeting with him on Monday. Thank you to everyone who gave me the advice. I deeply appreciate it. Update 2, a lot has happened. A lot has happened since then. And honestly, this will be my final update. The friend group confronted the now ex-friend. This is all coming from my fiance who gave me permission to share. When they confronted her, she tried to say that I was twisting the truth and filling their heads with lies, claiming she was only protecting them from me. The friend group called her out on everything, hacking my personal account, calling my job excessively, and even talking to my parents. Apparently, she had been in contact with my harmful father, saying I was a lowlife and a piece of garbage.
Dang. He's probably like, yeah, I know.
Like, what did she think she was doing with that? Like,
Yeah. So she's been in cahoots with Opie's dad, which OP had to get a restraining order against because his dad tried to attack him.
Look, clearly this person also has their own stuff that they're dealing with and affected by. I think it's good that, the story has been set straight.
After some back and forth, she finally admitted she was in love with my fiance to the point of obsession. She had been tracking my fiance's phone when she traveled, talking to her exes to learn about her, following my mutual friends, going to my gym, and even following me home without my knowledge. She was convinced that if she got me out of my fiance's life, my fiance would come to her. And here's the kicker. This person still has a boyfriend of 10 years. The group told her to never contact any of them again and completely cut her off. She tried to convince everyone that I was a real psycho, but no one believed her. They helped my fiance leave because she was trying to keep her there. By the way, you can go anywhere with us on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We have multiple months of content for you. I was so happy we got the evil plan out of this.
Yes, thank God we got the context. We got everything. We know it all now.
Like, what is happening?
No stone left unturned.
How do we got to think of a way to get the job back on our side. I think a PowerPoint of all the things that have happened. Be like, hey guys, so this is what
I think they are. I think they're back.
No.
Because you're here.
His reputation's still ruined at his job. So like, how do we get that back?
Oh well.
I think a PowerPoint. Or show him this podcast.
I think because word travels, I think word will also travel that this was BS.
Okay.
Because his boss has given him his own his personal lawyer. I'm sure it'll get around that. Like, yeah, that was. I mean, if you're literally like you sue for like whatever that is, slander, libel, defamation, whatever that is. I forget which one is written and which one is spoken. But yeah, that'll get around. And then you'll probably be fine.
I thought that this was the end of it, but it wasn't.
Oh, no.
I got called into the office at work and learned she had called again, saying horrible things that made me physically sick. Cops were called, and now there's another case against her. Thankfully, my company cares and is now taking extra measures to protect me and my team, on-site security, blocking her from any contact, and providing me with another therapist since the mental toll is showing. We filed for a restraining order and sent a cease and desist letter through the lawyer. I hope this will be the end of it. I can't keep my hopes up too much, but at least we're fighting back. Any advice on how to cope or just hobbies to help get my mind off of this would be amazing because I don't know how much more I can take.
My mother-in-law called the cops on me after a false accusation.
Yeah, no, he totally did it.
And trigger warning here, physical altercation. It's been a long gosh dang month. My fiance's grandparents, future mother-in-law's parents, both had pretty scary falls in the last month, and we've all been taking turns making 250-mile trips down to help and visit them. It's been stressful. By the way, this comes from Irish Cream the Nerd, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, next month, Fiancé and I have a trip planned to go out of the country for a week to see my grandparents, who are older and I haven't seen them in years. The plan was to have Fiancé's kid brother, 17 male, take care of our pets while we were gone. They both knew of and agreed to this. Well, last night, future mother-in-law realized that if we're out of the country, they can't take a 3-day trip to visit mother-in-law's parents. According to mother-in-law, leaving kid brother by himself for 3 days is a hard no. So she announced that she was going to board the dogs. Fiancé took exception to this because our older dog is terrified of everyone outside of the household, and our younger dog is really bad at reading aggressive body language and will actively try to play with dogs that would tear her apart. This started an argument between Fiancé and mother-in-law, where mother-in-law accused Fiancé of not caring about her own grandparents. Things got heated, but I convinced my Fiancé to retreat with me into our room. Things seemed to cool down for a bit, but when I ran downstairs to grab Fiancé's Switch so we could go hide out at my apartment, mother-in-law was still ranting, saying that she wished she never had my Fiancé, and she was mad at Kid Bro for attempting to bail from the argument and accused him of siding with them and was saying some of the most unhinged crap imaginable.
This has gone way too extreme, way too fast.
Yeah, dude. I don't think it was ever that serious. I tried to gently defend my fiance because, frankly, she's put her whole life on hold for a decade to support her mom and brother. Mother-in-law kept telling that fiancé is not her daughter. Eventually, the fiancé got sick of hearing things and started yelling back at her mom. Mother-in-law called her a witch. Fiancé returned the sentiment, and at that point, mother-in-law yelled that I should control my stupid witch because mother-in-law is going to hit her in her stupid effing face.
Hey now. I'm pretty sure that is a threat of assault.
I believe it is. Mother-in-law went back to her room, still yelling, with my fiancé yelling back. I tried to convince mother-in-law that my fiancé and I had been hiding for almost an hour while she was still ranting, and that we weren't the ones pushing the argument. Eventually, she snapped and yelled, "I'm going to get that witch! And our little dog, too!" and attempted to sprint past me down the hallway. I interceded and stood between her and my fiancé. Mother-in-law pushed and shoved and tried to squeeze past me in the hallway. She nearly made it too, but I picked her up and put her back down on the other side of me. She then announced that she was going to call 911, which I invited since no violence occurred. Well, I got shoved and then she got mildly restrained, but no one was hurt. She yelled at the 911 operator on speaker so me and fiancé could hear and interject, demanded someone get out there because her daughter was verbally abusing her, and the 911 operator was getting frustrated with her.
Hey, she's gonna get arrested for making a improper call to 911. That's
Right.
so funny.
Right. Eventually, she hung up, and minutes later, the cops showed up. Thankfully, I knew one of them from work and explained everything I typed out above. Mother-in-law talked to his partner outside. Apparently, my fiancé, who was hiding under her bed, was watching on the Ring camera and watched her mom straight up lie to the cop. They advised us that since no one was injured, mother-in-law claimed that I broke her thumb, but it obviously isn't broken, that we should just try to avoid each other and let things settle. After they left, fiancé and I hid in our room while mother-in-law bomb texted her about how I'm an evil danger to the whole family. Yesterday, I broke her thumb. Now she's texting fiancé that I harmed her in the hallway. I didn't. I'm so effing heartbroken over this whole thing. I've been with fiancé since high school. I clean the house. I do all the chores. I'm designated driver. I fix the cars. I fix the computers. I help little bro with his homework. I have given so much of myself to this whole family. I help mother-in-law with her extremely evil ex. They frequently comment that I'm too nice because I always stop to help anyone I'm in a position to help. But apparently, now to mother-in-law, I'm an evil beaster who's unsafe to be around because I wouldn't let her hit her daughter. F my life, man. Fiancé says I should have just let her mom hit her in the face because then we could just go back to everything being normal. Oh my God. That's terrible. We do have an update, but no. That's not
She's like,
right.
yeah, I've been training.
I'm ready. Update. We have been hiding out at my apartment hoping things would cool down. To absolutely no one's surprise, they haven't. We took whatever we could that we didn't want mother-in-law breaking or leaving out on the street and left while she was at work. There had been radio silence through part of her workday, with the odd, still really mean, jab thrown fiancé's way via text. Mostly stuff about how I'm horrible and how fiancé deserves to be with me, and she, mother-in-law, can't wait till I harm her. Oh my God. Also, that I'm apparently an enabler who does everything for the fiancé and made her helpless. Jeez. Apparently, all those chores I've been doing at mother-in-law's house, so it wouldn't all fall on my fiancé, was part of some massive evil scheme. Of course, everyone knows that. We see right through you, OP.
Wow.
How dare I do basically every household chore for no pay and no recognition? How dare you?
Yeah, it's like, in one breath, she's like, you're the worst, and like, you're going to harm her, and then also you do everything for her, and she never has to do anything, so she's helpless. It's like, pick one.
Yeah. Also, mother-in-law's story has changed again. Now, I've apparently hit her, threw her against a wall multiple times, and harmed her relentlessly. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dozens of pestering texts aside, we got a call from little bro sobbing because mother-in-law wanted the password for the house's Ring camera, and ironically, in her attempts to get in, locked Fiancé, who was the keeper of the app since she was home most frequently, completely out. So now nobody's in them. She forced Kid Bro to call us, demanding whatever 2-factor code was supposed to be sent to Fiancé for the security camera. The one that did come didn't work. She shrieked at him, demanding to get a code we weren't receiving. Anytime he tried to defend us, she threatened to call CPS on herself to get him taken away to foster care. Oh my God.
At this point, if I'm just leaving. If I'm him, I'm gone.
That's
like,
crazy.
that's fine. I'm going to go stay with my friend.
I feel like that needs to be like, yeah, I think he needs to go stay with OP and the fiance at the apartment now. Like, it's so unsafe. It's also unsafe. Anytime he contradicted her version of events, she badgered him, telling him what he saw and heard and thought until he agreed, trying to stop the torment. I recorded the whole dang call. I am not interacting with mother-in-law, even tangentially, without recording from now on. Fiancé and I were distraught because little bro begged us to come back and pick him up multiple times, but every time he asked, things escalated further. And we're worried mother-in-law would call us kidnappers if we picked him up. Well, I feel like if you have the calls of this, like, 17-year-old sobbing, asking for you to come pick him up to get away from someone, like, I feel like that's enough. You see stories of, like, kids calling the cops on their parents or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
that combined with his own testimony, I'm sure if the cops showed up being like, did you steal this child? He'd be like, no, I asked them. She's the worst.
He's old
Please
enough.
don't make me go back there.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd be like, oh, okay, we'll put your mom in jail.
Right. She doesn't want me around little bro because I'm dangerous. Despite the fact that I've effectively helped raise him, am an authorized pickup for everywhere, and am basically the whole family's emergency contact, and am his best friend. Shoot, I crammed 2+ decades of Pokemon knowledge into his head since he was 6. So yeah, life still sucks, but I think Fiancé is getting more committed to this whole moving out and cutting off contact to the degree that we can without screwing over Kid Bro thing. So there's a little progress. Now we just need to figure out how to get our remaining pets out of the house without things somehow getting worse. And we do have a second update now. Oh my goodness. But before we get into that, what are your thoughts so far?
What kind of evil laboratory was this mother cooked up in?
Yeah.
And she seems like a project of some sort of mad scientist to create the worst woman alive.
Honestly. Would imagine that just like the stress of everything is kind of getting in the way, but I feel like you don't need to be scared about what will happen if he's 17 and you go get him. Like, you might be called a kidnapper, but I think legally you'll be fine.
Yeah, he needs to 100% get out of that house.
Yeah, he called you multiple times to beg. So I don't want to like blame you for not doing it yet, but I think like just, you know, you can do it.
Yeah,
Try and give you that reassurance.
I would do it.
Yeah. Update number 2. Alrighty, so this is probably going to be a less satisfying post than you'd like. The last several days have been a roller coaster to say the least, but overall things are trending towards cooling down. First and foremost, mother-in-law's thumb is bruised up pretty bad. I don't think it's broken, considering she hasn't gotten any x-rays or anything. Best I can figure is when she tried to shove past me, I leaned into the wall to prevent her from getting to Fiancé, and I effectively squished her against it. Anyways, I feel bad that she does have any injury. Mother-in-law, little bro, and Fiancé went down for 2 days to help mother-in-law's parents, and I was unbanned from the house so I could take care of the pets. Surprise, surprise, once I'm useful, the ban starts lifting. The only caveat being that I can't be there when mother-in-law is there, which is fine by me.
Yeah.
I think this is when you go grab your pets and take them to your apartment. I feel like this is the perfect time. While Fiancé was gone and I was left on my lonesome, things got pretty low. Being left alone with my thoughts to digest everything had made me pretty insanely depressed, which is extremely uncharacteristic for me. They fought on and off during the trip. Mother-in-law graciously didn't spin her tales to the rest of the family, likely because, again, I'm pretty dang useful and always check on them when I'm down there visiting my dad. Anyways, they came back. Fiancé stayed at the house overnight since they got back late. Yesterday, Fiancé bopped back on over to the apartment with me, which she has been graciously helping to furnish, so it's not effectively a $2,000 storage unit for my reptiles.
Reptile.
And it feels a lot more like a home. I'm also, I think, unbanned from talking to little bro. I don't think mother-in-law's going through his phone anymore to yell at him over any texts between us. We got to play some of the new Pokemons together for a bit and did some shiny hunting. Fiancé has been careful not to downplay things and made it clear that she's not just trying to return to a semblance of normal, which was kind of the case immediately after everything happened. At this point, she's aiming for stable with the least amount of stress. Being at the apartment has been great for her. She's keeping her room over at mother-in-law's so she can support little bro, but still escapes to the apartment if and when things heat up. I know the general consensus is never talk to mother-in-law again forever, but low contact is honestly the best case I was able to predict. Mother-in-law's generally cooled off, but flip-flops frequently. She'll occasionally love bomb fiancé, saying she misses her best friend. She'll occasionally arbitrarily pick a fight or induce stress in fiancé because fiancé is picking me over her. She'll occasionally just ice fiancé out when fiancé is sad about the whole situation. Overall, I've resolved myself to only seek out the positive and shoot for the best possible outcomes based on whatever things I'm actually able to control. Fiancé is doing the same. Last night, some drama happened with mother-in-law's parents, and mother-in-law texted fiancé basically telling her fiancé and I can't go on our trip to my grandparents while drama is happening with her parents. Fiancé, rather than reacting purely out of stress, which is real growth for her, basically informed her mom that crap's never not going to be going down with her grandparents, and that if we wait for ideal conditions to go on our trip, then we'll never end up going. This was surprising to me because fiancé was the previous week becoming more and more committed to the idea of postponing the trip, which would have been very expensive. So it seems like we're going as planned, and my mom will come down here and take care of all the animals. And by the way, you can take care of us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Story Time.
That's right.
That's all you got to do.
Hey, way to go, fiancé.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to the story, but yeah, way to go.
I mean, you know, it's not always entirely feasible to be able to just go no contact and cut connection immediately. The ideal situation doesn't always happen. But yeah, clearly, you know, mother-in-law's got some mental health complications. And needs that to be addressed, which probably won't happen.
Yeah. We do have a little bit more to the story. When mother-in-law didn't get the reaction she wanted, she went radio silent for a bit, only to text back a few hours later that a benefit fiancé receives for living at home and helping with the little bro would need to be informed if she was officially moving out, which is ridiculous. Fiancé hasn't spent more than a week at the apartment. She gets all her mail to the house and still has a room there.
And you don't need to inform her or do any of that.
Yeah.
That's not, what are they, it's like you move out and like what the police are going to show up and be like, actually you have to live there because you didn't tell her.
Right. It's like, no. Fiancé's primary residence will remain the house until little bro comes of age and that benefit expires. So it was mostly just mother-in-law attempting to induce stress over nothing.
Yep.
And that is the end of that story.
She's trying to power play. She's just a button presser, a lever puller.
Oh, yeah.
A wheel turner.
And she's like, whoa, I'm not pinball.
My in-laws refuse to be financially responsible, and I'm losing all my patience.
I cannot sit here silently anymore.
Ooh, I will be loud. My wife is from South America, and I'm European. We met when I spent 10 months in her hometown during a cultural exchange. We were 18 at the time and would both go to uni afterwards. After my cultural exchange, my then-girlfriend followed me to my home country where she obtained her degree. By the way, this comes from user Aimbox2, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. And OP says, we are now a happily married couple who have been living independently for about 5 years. My wife is 30, she has one brother, 28, and one sister, 16. Her whole family still lives in her home country. To add some financial context, the median income in my home country is around 1,800 euros after taxes. In hers, it's around $350 after taxes. Cost of living obviously differs a lot as well. On to the main problem. My sister-in-law, Anna, graduates in June and is supposed to start uni in September. We were worried, however, that there would be problems in organizing and paying for these studies, which is why we planned our holiday accordingly to see if we could be of any assistance. We're on holiday staying at her aunt's house right now. We arrived 2 weeks ago with one goal in mind: to make sure everything was in motion for Anna to start studying in September. After the first couple of days of usual greetings and storytelling of how our lives have been since the last time we came, about 2.5 years ago, my wife and I sat down with Anna to see what she would like to study. It turns out my parents-in-law hadn't really done anything yet to start preparing.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not doing it.
Rookie mistake.
They phoned it in. They had to say, "You're the third kid. You figure it out, man."
They figured out.
The last time they had touched the subject in December of 2017, it ended with my mother-in-law telling Anna, "Okay, just let me know when you have any idea on what you want to become." There has been zero guidance on helping her choose what or where to study. To make things worse, a lot of deadlines concerning registration and scholarships were due in February. To be honest, we kind of saw this coming, which is why the last time we were here on holiday, 2.5 years ago, we had a conversation with my in-laws expressing our concerns, both financially as well as when it came to parental guidance. So last week, we took it upon ourselves to once again touch the subject and express our concerns. The result is they do not have the necessary money to even pay for the first semester. Oh, before my wife and I are branded as D-bags for pressuring my in-laws into arranging this for themselves instead of helping them financially, here's some context. My wife's grandfather held a very good position during his lifetime. The entire family belonged to the local high society for about 40 years. Grandfather gave my in-laws the house they currently live in for free. Grandpa basically paid 80% of all bills my in-laws ever had. Gas, water, electricity, school bills. Until my wife was 18, she went to the quote-unquote best and most expensive high school in the region. My parents basically paid for half of the cost of my wife's education and all roof and food in my home country. The rest was covered by Grandpa, plus her and I working in our spare time. We never asked my in-laws for help as we managed to get by. But it did seem strange to us that they never offered anything. My father confided in me that he doesn't need or ever expects any money from them, but that it does make it a strange relationship between him and my in-laws. My in-laws have had their own quote-unquote companies for about 15 years. Basically, it's a place they go to pass the time, to pretend to do something. My father-in-law's income barely covers the rent, and his assistants pay. Yes, he has an assistant. My mother-in-law has a therapy office, so to speak. Think massages and prescribing weird teas to lose weight. On average, she has about 3 appointments per week, mainly her own family. Grandfather passed away about 7 years ago.
Oh.
He left the in-laws a substantial inheritance, $35,000 in cash, and a collection of terrains suitable for real estate, valued at about $500,000. Wow! For comparison, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house costs about $75,000 here. I personally apply a factor of 4 to translate local worth to our European standards. So basically a 2 million euro plus inheritance in European standards.
Wow.
In-laws have been slowly chipping away at this fortune, and in my opinion, wasting it, maintaining a lifestyle that was once possible with the huge income grandfather had, but is now simply unpayable with their nearly non-existent income. A couple of examples: wasting 1,600 euros, 5 times the local median monthly income, on an airline ticket so my brother-in-law could come visit us, when he clearly told his parents it was impossible for him to go as it fell in the middle of his uni exams.
Oh my gosh.
Celebrating their wedding anniversary in hotels that cost more than $300 per night, which is the median monthly income, buying all luxury brands for clothing, going to expensive supermarkets. They do this by selling off a certain asset below market value because they desperately need the money, and then spending it slowly but surely until they run out again.
Very sustainable.
Totally.
Every conversation we have had about this has been started by me in the following fashion. We are grateful for you allowing us to stay here with you during our holidays. I am, however, concerned about Anna's future, as I think her education will cost a lot of money, and I think it's best to start preparing so we don't end up in trouble. 2.5 years ago, they agreed that things weren't going as they should. There was a lot of crying involved, and we reached the conclusion that maybe they should start a project to elevate their income so it at least covers their daily expenses. The result was we spent weeks looking up info, creating a business model, and reuniting the family through Skype to do follow-ups, only to often get the answer of, "I haven't had the time," when asking my in-laws for an update. The project ended when I realized I forgot one of our Skype appointments, and instead of rushing home, I decided to test their motivation by seeing how long it would take for them to call me to check why I wasn't online yet. In-laws didn't call me that day, they didn't come online that day, and the entire project was never mentioned again.
They don't care. They're just doing this because you're upset about it. They're not upset.
They don't care. Fast forward to last week. I again touched the subject when alone with my in-laws. They tell me it's none of my business and that everything will be okay. I tell them that I don't need or want a single penny from them or their inheritance, and that I'm willing to put that in writing, but that I'm concerned about their ability to pay for Anna's education, which they then confirm they can't afford it for the time being. I tell them I only want to help in the form of guidance, call it the European view of things, or even offer a loan if they're tight right now. Terrible idea.
Yeah, to these people?
That's money you'll never get back. By now, they're on the defensive, and my wife and brother-in-law have joined the conversation. It was during breakfast. I literally tell them multiple times we are only having this conversation because I want them to lead a happy and stress-free life, but that with the way things have gone since our last conversation, it's unlikely to happen once all the inherited money is gone. The conclusion, my mother-in-law literally told my wife and her brother they were being materialistic, which is funny because my brother-in-law is a minimalist vegan who has his own small martial arts dojo, kickstarted by my wife and me, and who gives free lessons to people who can't afford it while barely scraping by himself. This guy's got a Mojo Dojo casa house.
He sure does.
And he gives it to the people. She almost literally told them that kids cost too much money and that my brother and my wife had prevented her from leading the life she had wanted for herself. She's extremely religious and without children would have probably ended up in a convent. She also said that she loves her entire family and that she wants to get along with everyone, but that she can't accept the fact that we are such ungrateful children.
Oh my gosh.
FYI, she is currently on non-speaking terms with half of her siblings because of a discussion over money. If it wasn't for Anna, this would have probably been the point where I would have gotten up, smacked them both in the face, and told them to go F themselves and to never contact any of us again, as I want nothing to do with such close-minded and hurtful people. Mind you, if you ask anyone in my circle of friends, they'll tell you I am one of the least impulsive and least emotional people they know. Of course we didn't do this, and we tried to keep our calm. Alas, my wife is very emotional and could no longer support the completely off-topic insults my in-laws kept throwing in our direction. My wife and brother-in-law abandoned the table and went to their aunt's house while I tried to reinforce our message. We are grateful, but very concerned and only want to help. The problem is Anna does still need a degree, and my wife and I cannot afford it, as the university that offers it is a private one and is way beyond what our jobs pay. Our in-laws keep telling us that it will be taken care of, but I have zero confidence in their financial insights. My wife and I would also like to start a family of our own, but we love her sister so much and want to help her in every way possible. We do not feel comfortable having children and not being able to provide them with the best because of this other burden that we will likely have to carry. Reason why I have zero confidence is I later found out that if my wife hadn't come to Europe with me, my in-laws would have sent her to one of the worst universities in the country because it was all they could afford. My brother-in-law had to change universities after 3 months to a relatively bad but free one because, again, it was all they could afford. It is not entirely impossible that they gather the necessary funds to pay for Anna's education, yet again selling something, but it is a 99% certainty that without accepting guidance, they will be without a penny once the medical bills start pouring in when they get older. They are barely 50 now and already using physical ailments as an excuse for many things that go wrong. It may seem selfish, but I'm not willing to lessen my own family's opportunities once we start one because of my in-laws' mismanagement, general laziness, and stubbornness. Had they been part of a poor community, I would give them everything I could spare so they could better themselves. But given the context, the current situation just seems absurd to me. And by the way, we have an absurd amount of full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, whatever it is. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Just search OK Storytime.
Just do
And
it.
you can listen to over probably 1,700 hours worth of stories.
Yeah, probably so many. It'll get you through the end of the year at least.
Yep.
And then some.
At the very least.
Very least.
We have a little bit more story, but what are our thoughts, people? Do we have thoughts?
Dude, these parents are giving up. They're like, oh shoot, we had kids, and I think we have to parent now.
Yeah, it's just I think you guys are so right in, like, you know, they're gonna get older, and when you get older, you start breaking down. Your body starts breaking down. You start going to the hospital, and that's expensive. You got to plan for the future, and they're not planning for the future at all. They're only thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
And are probably, you know, convincing themselves that this kid should, like, pay for her own college, when it's like, well, I mean, do what you got to do, but it seems like you can pay for this, but you're choosing not to. That's not fair.
Now, a couple of days after this conversation, my in-laws act as if nothing has happened. My wife and brother-in-law feel extremely disappointed, not only because our worry hasn't disappeared, but more so because of the extra things that were said. I've come to you for advice, as I haven't a clue on how to deal with our current family situation. The main problem is that my wife and I are worried about her sister's possibilities to obtain a higher education degree. Question, what can or should we do? And that's the end of that. On a real note, you know, there's plenty of ways to have a solid career without having to go to university, namely the trades. Learn how to speak real good, get yourself a little sales position somewhere. I don't know, but most of all, I think beyond going to school, whatever it is, Anna needs to have an idea of what she wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, it's community college because they're in Europe, right?
I have no idea how higher education works in Europe. I do know it's a
Yeah.
lot harder to get into, from what
Really?
I understand.
I'm planning to shave my daughter's hair, and it made my mother-in-law furious.
That's a hairy situation.
I, female 33, am Hindu, and it is a custom in my religion for babies to go through a rite of passage by shaving their heads when they are typically 1 to 3 years old. It is extremely common in India since both Hindu and Muslim communities follow this practice, with different traditions, albeit. By the way, this comes from Am I the A-Hole Throwaway 18123, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation. So let us know what you would do down below. So OP says, as my husband is from the US and we have been married for 4 years. We're in India right now visiting family. 2 days ago, we were on FaceTime with his parents and mentioned that while we are here, we will have a ceremony, mundan, don't know if I'm saying that right, for our daughter, 3 female. They were excited, and mother-in-law even asked me to send photos. Everything was fine until my husband joked, "You'll finally know what Maya looks like as a baby." Maya was born with a full head of hair. Mother-in-law was confused, but when she learned about the shaving, she was furious. This was not even for religious reasons, since she knows my daughter is going to be raised Hindu. My husband's family are devout Christians, and my husband left the religion years ago. She has never expressed anger about this in particular, so it was not the reason for her outburst. She went on a tirade about how I was trying to, quote, unblack my daughter, my husband is black, and how I don't like my daughter's hair. She said I don't love her natural hair and have consistently tried to make it like mine, which is frankly not true. She also mentioned that I would start bleaching her skin soon since it's common with my people. Whew. This is completely baseless. Not only are we darker than her entire family, but this was completely out of the blue. I've done my best in my search for my daughter's hair care. I've visited many black-owned salons with my sister-in-laws and found the perfect one for my daughter. My husband researched hair care products for babies, and Maya's hair is very healthy. I've never heard any complaints from anyone. I even have a hair oiling tradition with her, something my mother and grandmother followed, and it has become a great bonding time for us. I wanted to share this with my daughter too. I can't even comment on the skin bleaching stuff. It is too ridiculous. Wild. The only conversation mother-in-law and I had before about Maya's hair was when she mentioned she wanted to get cornrows done and asked if Maya would get hers done too. She was 2 at the time, so I said no. I completely blew up at her after this. My husband was mad at his mom, but said that we should just have the ceremony on the down low with my immediate family and not post anything about it, since her hair would grow back when we go home. But I wanted her to have a big ceremony, and she was quite excited about it too. I'm also pretty hurt by mother-in-law's outburst since I had a good relationship with her. Father-in-law has been quiet since this happened, and the sister-in-laws are 19, so they can't say much. My family was in the next room while this happened, and they heard mother-in-law. She was that loud, and are mad at my husband. I don't know. This was supposed to be a fun trip back home, and it just spiraled into this. And we do have an update, but yeah, I feel like this is definitely a big outburst and does not need to happen. Very much an overreaction.
It's just like this feels kind of like a silly baby scenario.
Yeah.
Your mom's just your in-law, your mother-in-law is just being so ridiculous. It needs to be like, oh, is that what you're worried about? Well, you're being an actual silly baby.
Yeah.
So we're going to disregard you.
Yeah. Updates. The ceremony was held yesterday, and I'm so glad I went through with it. Maya had the most amazing time with her cousins, and we made sure to get a priest who was also trained in shaving hair so she would be comfortable and not cry. The only time she cried was when everyone left. LOL. I'm so glad I didn't cancel, especially after reading that one comment saying that I was discriminatory for doing this ceremony for my daughter, especially since she's black too. I still don't understand the thought process behind that. We had a great day with our family, and Maya was thrilled to see her uncles, my brother and cousin, who also flew out from the US for the ceremony. But it seems like our day was too good, and mother-in-law called us screaming after seeing the pictures my relatives posted on Instagram. She wasted no time and revealed her real reason for being so against all of this. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What do we think it is?
I don't know. It really could be so many different things.
Yeah, well, let's find out. Put your guesses in the comments down below. As many of you suspected, she was still resentful that my husband married a Hindu. She somehow expected me to raise my daughter Christian, which totally blindsided me. Wow. Father-in-law was also pretty much on her side. This time around, my parents also came and spoke to her because they did not like how she was talking to me, and my husband was being a complete wuss, leaving that for later right now. We kind of diffused the situation for now, and I'm so glad my parents are still there for me. Oh, and the most surprising part, sister-in-laws told me that mother-in-law had herself shaved her daughter's hair when they were toddlers since no stylist would work with kids that young in their area.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
Oh my
just all
God.
it is. It's straight up like, I want her to be black, not Hindu. She's both. You're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah. My husband kind of remembered it too after they mentioned it. So she really had no problem with the hair shaving itself. I guess the resentment was just building up with Diwali and Holly. I mean, seriously, who gets mad at seeing their grandkid covered in colors? The most horrible thing was the skin bleaching comment. As someone who has been on the other side of it, it felt horribly awful that someone would outright say that I would have any role in it. What I'm most angry about is the audacity of her to call me up and scream about all of this. I might have responded better, maybe not kindly, but calmly, if she had just talked to me like a normal person. I don't even know if I want this woman around my kid anymore, but that's a problem for later. Everything felt so Indian soap opera-ish for me, so yeah, it's been a long day. And we do have a second update now. Let's go. Any comments before we jump right into that, though? How do we feel?
It probably warrants just a discussion of like, hey, that's really gross, and since our kid is Hindu and our kid is black, you're going to have to embrace both sides of that, because I won't have you othering your own grandchild.
Right. But update number 2. To preface, I'm Indian, my husband is African American, and my daughter is mixed race. I'm a practicing Hindu, and my husband was a Christian, but he left the religion about 12 years ago. His family still practices Christianity.
Yeah, that's definitely something they're upset about.
Yeah. Our daughter is being raised Hindu since he no longer practices the religion. I had a really bad conversation, or rather several, with my mother-in-law, and I do not want to have any contact with her anymore. I need advice on how to bring this up with my husband, and maybe even suggestions on how we can handle it. I later found out mother-in-law had shaved her daughter's hair when they were toddlers, since stylists would not work with kids in that young in that area. If it had ended there, I would have been willing to talk it out. But the next day, she called us and called me a satanic worshiper. I assume due to the polytheistic nature of my religion. I would never worship Shaitan? But she also called me a cow-worshipping freak. She apparently expected my daughter to be raised solely as a Christian, since her father was Christian. She also expressed distaste, I'm putting this mildly, about my daughter being bilingual, saying that it would be a secret code between her and my parents.
It's just crazy the level of, like, blindness there is here to, like, or maybe not. Maybe she's not even blind to how racist this is.
She just knows. She's like, well,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, it's just, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
It's absurd.
crazy.
It'd be like, if this is how you feel, it's like, we're not going to let you around our kid.
Dude.
So you
yeah.
just, you hate half of your grandchild?
Yeah.
Right. I don't.
Bob's and Vagnies. No.
I don't even know where she learned that from. When I first started dating my husband, I knew there would be cultural clashes, but I've always been accommodating of their traditions and celebrated with them. In fact, before Maya was born, we mostly celebrated their holidays while I went to the temple with other Hindu people in my area. My husband joined me sometimes, but his family never initiated anything after we got married. The only time I ever refused a tradition of theirs was when I declined to wear a white dress for a part of our wedding. In Hindu culture, white is worn at funerals, so it's considered inauspicious for a bride. We usually wear red. You usually / always can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, I don't remember how long they've been together, but obviously it's at least 3 years.
I think it's, well,
At least 4.
not looking good for mother-in-law's prospects of being a present grandma.
No.
Because, yeah, after this, unless I get, like, a full-throated, like, I was so in the wrong, like, this is how I've changed, like, this is what I think now, this is why what I said before was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust you to not, like, say something or do something to, you know, my child that might, you know, harm them,
Right.
you know.
I honestly find all of this completely unhinged. How does someone's brain even work like this? I cannot have any further contact with her, and I don't want my daughter to either. She is clearly discriminatory and has no respect for my religion. I don't know how to bring this up with my husband. Obviously, I won't stop him from visiting her since she's still his mom, but I don't want Maya around her. I also don't want to cut ties with his sisters since they're wonderful aunts to Maya. I am just really confused and exhausted, and that's the end of that story now. Yeah, good luck, OP. Try your best to talk to your husband about it. I think, you know, it's not just about the religion, it's about the, you know, discrimination, and we need to look at that. And I think bring that up to your husband of just like, hey, like maybe, you know, I'm sure you can understand that, like, you know, experiencing racism is not cool, and experiencing it from your family is going to be even harder. So,
Yeah.
hopefully he can understand it. Maybe you can make some sort of compromise, or he can talk to your mother-in-law.
Yeah, there needs to be a united front on the understanding of why this is unacceptable.
My boyfriend's parents are trying to claim his inheritance, and I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay with that either. That's what?
I'm 24 female, and my fiance is 26 male. We're at a tough spot in our relationship because his parents want to take his $25K from his inheritance from his great aunt, who he was very close with growing up. No. Just say no.
That's not your money.
When she passed away last March, she left him about $50,000. Last year, his parents had a conversation with him about how the money was going to get distributed without me there. and basically told him he needs to give them $30,000.
Was it in writing?
No.
Did she say any of that was for them?
Please keep in mind that this aunt also left them a bunch of money, and they are very wealthy, even without it. Both of his parents are wealthy. By the way, this comes from Silverpin7072 on the r/2hot-take subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And OP says his dad wanted $15K at a time so that he wouldn't get taxed more on the money. So without me knowing, my fiance gave him the $15K last year. I would rethink the relationship if my partner, who I'm about to get married to,
Yes.
without even mentioning it to me, gave away that totally is his money.
That is his money. That's the thing.
I do want to say totally valid for him to do whatever he wants with his money. However, to not have any communication is pretty wild. Over the holidays, we were fighting with his parents because we have 2 little children. And they would not keep his brother's very unstable and dangerous dog away from them. This dog has tried to bite my kids multiple times. Actually, I'm even more so kind of shocked that he didn't talk to OP. They have kids together.
Yeah, that.
Again,
Interesting.
rethinking relationship. I mean, it's not over because, again, you have kids together. So try and work through it. But,
Big
this was-
financial
yeah.
decisions for families should be talked to among the,
Yes.
I don't know, at least the parents.
Agreed. This was an ongoing issue for years, and they do not like boundaries or any criticism. They love to be in control. Anyway, we had to have a talk about the dog issue, and in my opinion, the conversation wasn't really any good. We got no apology. When my mother-in-law noticed that her son didn't really want to talk to her anymore, she only apologized specifically to him, asking me not to be there because she just wanted him back in her life. If she was really sorry, she would have apologized to me too. Me and my fiance had a conversation while all the dog chaos was going on that if his dad asked for the other $15K, he would tell them no. There's no way they're getting it, and he should have never given them the first $15K. Well, on Good Friday, his dad secretly pulled him over in the garage to have a conversation while we were celebrating our niece's birthday at their house. His dad told him that he needs the other $10K, and he's trying to play it off like he's letting us keep $5K as a wedding present.
What?
It's not a wedding present.
It's also originally his money.
It's his money. Keep in mind that we are getting married in literally a month and trying to pay for a wedding, and this money is in my fiance's name. His parents told him that the bank made a mistake, and the money was only supposed to go to my fiancé if my fiance's dad passed away. And since he didn't pass away yet, it's technically his money, and it needs to go to him. I think this is a lie. I think they are extremely manipulative people, and I don't think banks make mistakes like that. So my fiancé agreed to this without me there, and then hid it from me for 3 days because he was scared I would break up with him.
You done?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Why are we? If you realize, oh, OP's gonna be really mad at me for doing this,
Yeah, so I'm gonna lie to her.
so I'm gonna do it.
Stop. Let me make this clear. It's not so much about the money, but the bigger picture that my fiancé cannot stand up to his parents and clearly never will. I feel like I will always be second to what they want, even though he doesn't even like them. It feels like he cares about their respect more. I told him that I'm not going to fight over money that's not mine, but this is ridiculous. I thought about breaking off the wedding, but I really do want to marry him. I love him so much. It's just, it feels like he's never going to be able to put our family first, and I'm always going to be second to what his parents want, even if he knows it's not right. And he hid this from me. I don't know what to do. He hasn't signed anything or given them money yet. My fiance's thoughts about this are that he thinks it's wrong of them to take the money. Then don't give them the money. But he'd rather just keep the peace because they act crazy when they're upset about something and not getting their way.
So that's an excuse for them to do whatever they want.
And he never wants to feel like he has to choose between me or them again. Honestly, I was kind of done with them after the whole dog thing. I'll be respectful even though I don't respect them. But I try to keep contact to a minimum. I didn't totally want to cut them out of our lives for my kids' sake, even though I don't care if I never see them again. I just feel like if he can't stand up to them over $25,000 that is his, he's never going to. I agree. He's not.
And that's also a bad example to set for your children.
Yes. just do whatever mommy and daddy say.
Grandma and grandpa,
Grandma and
are
grandpa
going to take
ask
your
for money?
college, college tuition.
Sorry, you can't go to college because grandma and grandpa want to go to Barbados. It's also kind of a turnoff to me because I feel like it's weak. It is. Comments. Comment 1 says, you do realize this is your future, don't you? You're going to have a husband that will never stand up to his parents. You need to have a serious discussion with your fiancé. Before you get married, I would even suggest counseling.
100%.
Agreed.
100%.
Comment 2, he thinks it's wrong of them to take the money. They aren't. He's willingly handing it over, then lying to you so you won't leave him. Yep. Is that any way to start a marriage? Nope. Knowing that he will always put mommy and daddy first over you and his own children, and has no problem lying to you about it. You know why? He knows you won't leave, because he's done this before and you stayed, and you just said you want to stay and marry him even now. He's not the only one who needs a spine here. Dang! Commenter. You need to put your foot down and tell him if he can't grow up and be an adult and set boundaries with his parents, which include not giving them his money just because they told him to, you'll leave. See who he chooses. And you're right. Men who can't stand up to their parents to the detriment of their partner and own children are absolutely weak, just like his parents want him to be. So they'll always have control over him. He needs therapy, and you need to call off the wedding if he can't stand up to them. Comment 3 says, do you have a copy of the will? It will list specifically what was left to whom and in what order. You mentioned they said it was a mistake and only upon the passing of another. The will is the document that should be dictating all of this.
Yep.
That document will also list the person who is now the executor and can act on behalf of the deceased, making the transactions at the bank, filing the taxes, etc. You need a copy of that. In many states, it's public record. Get a copy, show it to your fiancé, and act based on what that document says. You can also hold the executor accountable in court if you feel they are not being honest or not fulfilling the terms of the will. Good luck. Reply says the parents aren't disputing the will. They're manipulating their son into giving them money. Legally, there's no issue here. Son is inherited and is free to dispose of the money as he wishes, unless the will specifies how the son is to spend the money. Then he's free to be stupid and gullible with it. This will happen with any money he has, and OP can't rely on the courts to do what she and her husband to be won't. Reply says you're not even allowed to specify what people do with money you've left them. The only way to make sure your money is spent a certain way after passing is to specify leaving it in a trust set up to distribute it in a certain way. If you just leave money to someone, it's then theirs to spend it any way they deem fit. And you're absolutely right. If the parents think the money was distributed to the son unfairly, they could have disputed it in court during probate. I'm sure these greedy people would have done so if they could. All it takes is one visit to his own attorney to clarify it for their son. There is an update, but what do you think?
Yeah, this guy, I don't know if marriage
I don't know if
is
marriage
the path to go.
at least like postpone until you can figure out. Because again, you guys have kids together. It's a little bit more complicated than
It
just,
is.
Getting married.
Yeah, that one comment's like, this is going to be your life,
your life.
unless if it changes, and it seems like it's not.
Yeah, what else is he willing to give away to his parents, and how will it affect you and your kids?
Oh, yeah. Oh, get a prenup or something.
Yeah.
Get ready for that. That's going to be wild.
But there is an update. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. I know a lot of you are about to lose your minds because I did in fact still marry him. Yikes.
But there's a
However,
Okay.
his parents will not be getting any more money from us, and we went to counseling, so my now husband can work through the past emotional abuse and enmeshment. So what actually happened was before his great aunt passed, she sat my now husband and his parents down and told them how much she was going to give them in the will. Well, when she did pass, the will gave him way more than she said in the conversation. And I'm assuming them a lot less. So they felt entitled to the money and manipulated him into going along with what she originally said. Yes, it sucks they still got away with taking the first $15K, but they will absolutely not be getting anything else. His dad told him in the garage that day to give it to him after the wedding, but he hasn't brought it up since. If he does, he's getting a big fat no.
Good.
I think they know they're wrong, and that's why they haven't asked again. They put on a show that they're kind, loving people, so I think they're scared I'm gonna expose them. Do it. Tell everyone that they are greedy little money grabbers. By the way, I need to expose you guys to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Wow. Good on you, OP, and good on your hubby. You guys got counseling, and I hope you guys continue the counseling. And
Yeah.
good on him for growing a spine.
Yeah, man.
That's
Took him
insane.
A while.
That's insane. I feel like he was just like, I'm reading it, I'm hearing it, I'm thinking it, but I'm just not doing it.
It's not feeling
I'm gonna
it.
keep giving him the money, but like I know that's not
I know
right.
I shouldn't, but I'm just gonna lie, and I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
But now he's finally figured it out.
Good.
Love that.
And it seems
Pleased.
like he finally. I mean, we haven't gotten any context of him standing up for you, but standing up to his parents is a good start. I mean, if they still treat you, the way they are still, or before what you said in your post, hopefully he stands up to that too.
Agreed. But there's
good,
a little bit
good
left.
good on that. You
Yeah.
gotta start somewhere.
Glad that you guys are working on it. Concerns about the dog. If that dog is around, my children will never be. That is a non-negotiable. My mother-in-law did write us a letter apologizing for how they handle that. We were shocked, so I hope she meant it. We will still try to have a relationship going forward with them as long as they respect us and our decisions. Thank you all for the comments and messages that came from a place of concern. I knew there had to be a drastic change or I would be miserable forever. That's why I was spiraling enough to post on Reddit. And there is nothing left to the story. Good luck, OP. I think you guys are working on it, and that's all you
Yeah.
can ask for.
Good luck on your marriage. Good luck on the future for your family, and hopefully your in-laws are going to be chill people for the rest of your life.
Hopefully they don't ask you for
Fingers
more
crossed.
money. Crossing my fingers for that. My fiance planned his birthday with another girl without involving me.
I don't know. This one's tricky.
I, 30 female, have been engaged to my fiance, 32 male, for about a year now. We both agreed to a long engagement since we are still saving up for the wedding. His birthday is coming up next month, and I have been really excited planning for his birthday since I know that he did not really get to celebrate growing up due to family issues. By the way, this comes from BimBimbop456. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
Oh, and I'm Savannah. Hey.
I'm Riley.
And guys, we try to give our best advice, but we haven't experienced most of these situations ourselves. So if you have, let us know your take in the comments. And OP says, every year for the past 4 years, I've always planned something for his birthday. I try to communicate with him about it because I want to get his input on how he would like his birthdays to go. Recently, I've been planning for his birthday next month. He said that he wanted to have an intimate birthday party or dinner with friends. So I've been planning meticulously to pull this off. From small details like looking for rustic D&D themed plates, sick,
Cute.
and cutlery to renting a whole villa so he could really enjoy his day, I put my effort into making it special. Then I was told that he already planned his birthday with a female friend without telling me ahead of time. I understand that they have known each other longer than us, but I could not help but feel betrayed and jealous. He made plans with his friend without even telling me, and everything was already prepared and done. I communicated with him and asked if he could set this birthday party on a different date, since the villa I rented is non-refundable.
Ooh, nope.
Dang.
Yeah,
He only
No.
told me that he could not because they had already made all the preparations. He said he would just reimburse me for half of the money I spent on the villa. I stayed quiet for the whole day and did not talk to him much. I could not help but feel betrayed. Later that night, he said that I was overreacting over a small thing and should be grateful that I would not have to do any of the hosting, designing, or preparing. She already did the preparation.
Yeah,
It's like she already had it prepared. She
Yeah.
paid for the thing.
exactly.
It's too late. So now I am left wondering if I am really overreacting, jealous, and unreasonable.
No.
Comment 1. Did none of the friends you're inviting tell you about the other party? OP says, none of his friends informed me about this.
Oh, so there were other friends that were involved with the
Yes.
other planning
Yeah.
that did not tell her.
That's crazy.
There's no way that none of that got mixed together.
Probably because they
So-
haven't invited them yet or have informed anyone about them planning it. Oh, okay. So they didn't know.
Okay.
Presumably.
I jumped the gun on that one. Sorry.
Sorry, friends.
Sorry.
Reply, as the fiancé, you should have been included from the start. So that's also a problem. Comment 2 says, why are you spending so much money on said party and a non-refundable purchase without discussing it with him, knowing you're saving up for a wedding? You should have discussed this far prior to when you did. He should have told you his plans, especially knowing you've been the one to step up and plan for the last 4 years. I do find it odd that they're that close and he still didn't feel the need to talk about the party that another woman planned for him. He should have said you already had that covered and politely declined. You should have spoken up about your discomfort rather than sit and mope all day, because where does that get you? Luckily, he's willing to help cover some of the cost. Luckily, you still gotta pay half.
Not the sit and mope.
I have discussed this with him, as I most of the time communicate with him and take his inputs on things he wants to happen on his birthday. Reply says, what does disgust mean to you? Did you mention you were planning his party, or did you just ask for subtle things he likes in order to plan it? Was he fully aware you already planned his party and still let his girlfriend plan a different party? If he made plans with you and then blew them off to go get a party planned by another girl, it's clear where his priorities are and maybe a sign that marriage isn't on the table right now. OP says, yes, I did mention that I'm planning his birthday party. One, he shouldn't have gone to this girl's, or he shouldn't be going to this girl's birthday thing. And two, he should absolutely pay for the full refund, you know?
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, I knew you were planning me a party, but you still have to pay half of that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's why I'm always asking for his inputs. I'm pretty much sure that he's fully aware about this since I update him with every progress I made on planning this party. Reply says, there's no easy way to say, nor for you to accept it immediately, but I would break up over this.
Ooh.
It's clear disrespect and disregard for your emotions, all to make what? Some other girl happy?
Ooh.
She chose to go out of her way to plan your fiance's birthday party. I would go to whatever she planned just so you can save more money and see how she is around him. There's lines you don't cross in friendships, and she went over it, but your fiancé disrespected you by allowing this to even happen in the first place. Let alone say he's going to her party despite him giving constant feedback for the party you, his literal fiancé, planned for him. Truly hope you guys can talk it out and he sees where he went wrong. Maybe even show him this post so he knows you're not overreacting. But there is an update. Any more thoughts?
I don't agree with the, like, oh, well, you should have said something.
Yeah.
You should, like.
She did. We also
Yeah.
knew that she did.
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I did say something.
Yeah.
And also, you know, this, the other thing happened. So it's like, I feel like you have all the information there and he just chose to disregard it and then is trying to be like, well, you know, how was I supposed to know? It's my birthday.
Exactly. I also think, like, if you've been in a relationship for 4 years, the last couple
And
years.
are engaged.
She's planned all of the previous birthday parties.
Yeah.
And then someone says, hey, like, I'd love to plan a birthday party for you. You've got this great idea. My first thought would be, hey, that sounds really great. But, you know, my girlfriend usually does that. So I want to make sure she doesn't have it, even if she hadn't told.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So what's up with that, dude?
Or I would correlate with the fiance.
Yes,
like
if
I would
the
correlate
friend,
with
the
her. Be
girlfriend.
like, hey, I heard that you are throwing something.
Yeah.
I think he would also enjoy this or something.
Yes.
You know, like putting
Exactly.
the two together. I feel like the
If you want it to
communication
be a
was just
surprise.
lost, and then now it's like a weird 3 people
Yeah.
triangle, but not.
Yeah. And you have to choose which birthday's the best. Updates. Today I broke up with him. Yes, I did. It took me a while to come up with this decision, but I still let myself think it through just to be sure. The birthday party is happening this weekend, not the one I planned, but the one his female friend planned for him. He was so excited, even buying new clothes and accessories for it. Last weekend, I spent some time with my friends and opened up about it. Just as expected, they said the same things many of you did in the comments. I still did not listen because I was holding on to the hope that things might change, but it only got worse. After that trip, I went back to work, and it has been really stressful lately.
Aw.
Yesterday was literally the worst day of my life. I had an argument with my manager that left me confused, anxious, and down. It bothered me a lot. Of course, as stupid as I am,
You're
I
not.
shared it with him. I wrote a long text message explaining what happened since he was also at work and I could not call him. To explain further, I sent some voice messages. Again, I was sad and looking for comfort from him, but all I got was gaslighting. He did not react to it. I do not even know if he listened or read anything. He just said, okay, sorry, I'm tired. I was left hanging with my feelings. I know it's not his responsibility to comfort me, but I was expecting him to at least show some care and not disregard me because he was tired. Yeah. But as many of you said, I had to communicate more with him. So I asked if he had time to talk, and he said sure. Oh, now we can talk. I thought he was tired. I told him that I needed him to at least listen and care for me at that moment since I was feeling sad and low. He again just said that he was tired and dismissed me. I let it go since I knew talking to him at this point would be pointless. Morning came and he said that he was ready to talk. He's like, all right. He goes, I'm all better now.
My issues have been solved. My tiredness has just all of a sudden gone away.
Yeah.
We can discuss what you're doing now.
So, you know what you do when your girlfriend needs to talk about her bad day and you're tired? You
Go
drink
to
a
sleep.
yerba.
Oh. I drink water, guys, and the occasional smoothie. This is weird talk.
So I told him how his actions made me feel yesterday. I told him that I felt dismissed and unseen. I felt like I was all alone. I explained it in a very calm voice, but then he started getting mad, saying that he did say sorry yesterday because he was tired and I should have been more understanding. He turns back on you. He goes, well, I had a bad day too. And you didn't say, oh, I'm so sorry you were tired.
Guys, I didn't get to take my afternoon nap.
It's ridiculous.
What the heck?
He told me I was attacking him over something he didn't even know about. All I had done was try to communicate. Then he dropped the line, if you cannot take responsibility for your actions, you can just leave. At this point, I was done. I asked if that was what he wanted, and he did not answer. He just said that all he wanted was for me to take responsibility for what was happening to us at that moment. By the way, I want for you, in this moment, after this story, to go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Ooh. Do you have any final thoughts?
I hate this man.
He sucks.
The gaslighting
Yeah.
is just like so rude. I hate that.
It's
like
so frustrating.
the fact that it's like them doing it and then like the hypocrisy is just like, oh, well, I said I was tired, so what's wrong?
Yeah.
I'm on the side of the road. Do you care at all? I know we're not
he's like,
dating,
I'm
but like,
tired.
huh? Yeah,
I'm tired. I can't come pick you up. I'm tired.
I'm tired, guys.
Yeah. No, ridiculous. Break up.
Bye.
I could not see the point in continuing to communicate with him when everything I said was being thrown back at me, making me feel bad for simply asking for understanding. So I left. I left without a word.
As you should.
I blocked him on all socials and his number, but I'm not gonna lie. My heart still hurts, and a part of me still hopes he'll reach out. How? So we can patch things up. But another part of me says this is for the better. I deserve better. I deserve someone who will treat me with kindness and softness. Someone who will understand me better. Oh, and I invited my friends over to the villa to have a post-breakup party. Ooh,
How
ooh.
fun. I would actually
That's
love that.
so fun. Like, hey guys, come to my breakup party at the villa.
Originally his birthday party, but no birth is celebrated here.
A hot new bombshell is single. I guess it still served its purpose, and there is nothing left of the story. My sister thinks my fiance purposely excluded her from my proposal.
How dare he?
I, 36 female, am now engaged to my fiance, 33 male. He proposed to me at our friend's 4th of July party over this past weekend. He told the friend who owned the property for obvious reasons, but was too focused on making sure it went right to tell literally anyone else until right before, just to make sure someone recorded it.
It's a lot of pressure.
By the way, this comes from Lemon Bark Art, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and we'll try to give our best advice, but we haven't experienced most of these situations ourselves, so if you have, let us know what you would do in the comments. But OP says, he said he had mentioned it a little to my brother-in-law, 35 male, at a family get-together a few months prior, and figured my brother-in-law would tell his wife, my sister, 32 female. He didn't want to say too much to anyone, as he didn't want to risk anyone acting weird and ruining the surprise.
Fair. It's supposed to be a surprise for about everybody.
My mom especially, is terrible at keeping surprises. So I don't know if a partner I was about to get married to that was trying to propose to me, I mean, they would have to tell her, but she would be really awful. Like, she's never kept a surprise from us.
Here we go. This is what happens.
Yeah.
You ready? He asked for your hand where you live.
Yeah.
And then you have your phone off while you're hanging out with your friends, or he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after he asked for your hand, he directly come over to where you are and then makes it happen. So like within the span of an hour.
Oh, okay. So he's like, hey, just heads up.
Hey,
I'm marrying her. Like he could tell my dad. My mom just is terrible with
can I have your El's bus is great. I gotta run.
Gotta run. I gotta go. LA traffic is terrible.
Yeah, and then whoever's around you just be like,
Yeah.
the eagle is out of the nest. Repeat, the eagle's out of the nest.
Mama bird knows. Mama bird knows. Go, 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 go. He proposed out on our friend's property near the edge of the woods.
Cute.
Some people had already gone inside the house to chill, but when they heard about it, they came right out to find me and congratulate us. My brother-in-law was one of these people, and as he apparently hadn't been paying any attention at the get-together, I hadn't seen my sister come out, so I went to find her, assuming she hadn't heard yet. I went to show her the ring and tell her he proposed. But she glared at me and said, I know. I heard. He never even told me he was doing it. So I missed the whole thing. Real great effing guy you got there. She gave me an aggressive...
What?
She gave me an aggressive and sarcastic double thumbs up before walking away. So she went, real great guy you've got there.
So cringe.
And then she walked away. That is cringe. You could have at least done the finger guns. Real great guy you got there.
This
But
feels
like
like
aggressively, like
She goes, real great guy you've got there.
this is so new girl.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What? New girl?
Something that girl would do. What's her name? Becky?
Cece?
No, Jess.
Oh, I
Something
think-
Jess would definitely
Yeah, Wait, you think that she would... when she's mad, she goes...
do. Yeah.
She would do that. I don't think she would get mad over this, but I think
don't
she
know.
would do that if she were mad.
If Schmidt
I
didn't
could see
tell her she was proposing to Cece,
Yeah. Oh.
come on now.
Be pretty messed up. Yeah. I think if
Anyways.
any of my, I can think of a person who, if they didn't tell me that they were proposing to the other person, I'd be like, how dare you? She gave me an agreement. We just had a whole full whisper conversation for the audio listeners. And about an hour later, she left the party completely. We've never been all that close, like night and day. So I didn't think she'd care so much about it. But she seemed to want to make it about herself instead of being happy for her older sister. Like I said, my fiance told all of 2 people, and only the property owner knew when, during the party, he was doing it. That's funny. Like, wait, is this an engagement party? I told my fiance that I probably wasn't going to say anything to her about it, and if she didn't apologize or even congratulate us by the time we set up invitations, I was considering not even inviting her. Seems she already made it clear she doesn't care. Would I be the a-hole? And there is an update. Let's pause on the not inviting her because she doesn't even care. She's hurt. Let's go have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
That's the first. She's your sister. She's clearly hurt that she wasn't involved because she cares about you and wanted to be involved on this very big event. So just have a conversation and be like, I'm sorry. I don't think he wanted to keep it a secret. It wasn't meant to hurt you. I would still very much love for you to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to be a part of the bridal part, like if that's true.
Yeah.
But let's have the conversation before we, jump the gun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking if we take out the proposal,
Yeah.
what's the real issue your sister has with you, OP?
I feel like she just feels left out.
Yeah. Out of the loop.
Yeah, she's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's talk about it. Wait, it sucks that you have to be the one who kind of fixes things, but
Yeah, yet you're left with it
Yeah.
and not, congrats. If you feel hurt or something by something, I feel like you should, I don't know, talk to him in a talk it over coffee.
Yeah, let's go get a
Honestly.
little coffee.
Yeah.
I had a really nice chai this morning.
Oh,
Go
that's
get a
nice.
chai, yeah. Little iced chai.
I'm now freaking out over my proposal because I know where it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. But it's
You know
like,
when it's going to happen?
not when, but I know where
Yeah.
it's going to happen.
Where it's going to happen. Uh-huh.
And what day it would happen on.
Not what year.
Not what year. And I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
like freaking out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things to put together.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to be in a ghillie suit.
I don't want to propose to my partner, not because I think gender roles wise, I'm like, yeah, I could totally do that. However, the issue here is that I need them. I just need that double confirmation, I just need they're really into me. I need that confirmation.
Is he into me?
Yeah. I couldn't do
I don't
it.
know. He says he wants to marry me. He asked for,
Yeah.
he
I
got the
don't know.
approval
I'm
from
not
my parents.
sure.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's into me that
I
much.
just don't know.
We've been together for like 10 years. But
Yeah. Maybe he's just waiting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's playing the long game. Maybe
Yeah.
he's just ready to dump me.
But there are some comments. Comment 1 says, talk to her about how her reaction made you feel. If she doesn't apologize or even explain how or why she had that reaction, invite her, but only as a guest. If she escalates or makes it like you were the bad guy for excluding her from the proposal, uninvite her and all her enablers. OP, thing is, I don't think she has any enablers. Found out that she made it up in her head that he told everyone but her and specifically waited for her to go inside so she would miss the entire thing. I am floored and confused AF. Even our mom said to just not talk to her about it because we all know she's just going to call us liars because she's convinced herself that it was all out of spite. And reply says, is there something going on in her life outside of your recent engagement that she feels like you and everyone else are out to get her? OP says she and her husband are currently separated, attempting marriage counseling, but bordering on divorce. I don't know how that would make her feel like everyone is out to get her, though. We've all been supportive of her despite knowing she's part of the problem as well in the marriage. She's extremely monotone and has RBF, but her husband is really trying to make it work. He'd been unmedicated for something that was causing issues as well, and now that he's been seeking help, he's not missed a single appointment.
Oh, sick.
I can understand the divorce, but I feel like she's drawing it out for some reason, as it's clear she's just done with him. I've told her that if she's really done, that she'd be better off to just rip the Band-Aid off so she can live her own life instead of letting this drag on with it all the stress it's putting on her. But if she truly wants to make it work with him, she's got to quit pulling away and actually do something about it. It's been over a year now that they haven't even lived together. Maybe she's mad that he proposed while she's going through a potential divorce, but that's just not fair. We've been together for 4.5 years. Was he supposed to wait till she figured out what she was going to do? Even if he waited till after divorce, I'm pretty sure she'd accuse him of doing it to spite her even more. I don't know.
So this just confirms she's in her own little world and you're a part of it, and something happened without her controlling it or something.
Yeah. Well, she's blaming, the other stuff that she's got going on you.
Yeah. Weird.
And it's not your fault.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry, your husband's divorcing you?
Was the guy supposed to go around and be like, hey, you got that divorce paper signed yet? You guys done yet? Okay, I'm going to go propose real quick. Was he supposed to do that?
About that.
Run that by you? What?
No, come on. But there is an update. I still think talk to your sister.
Yeah, clear the air.
Yeah, even though your mom's like, oh, don't talk to her. She's just gonna say you're a liar. I think try.
Yeah.
Just so it gives you kind of a little bit more clarity on the situation, and then you can be like, well, you know what? She still refuses to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Don't want her in the bridal party, or I don't want her at the wedding.
You can maybe mend something here.
Yeah.
There's a possibility.
Flower girl.
Flower girl.
Like a flower girl.
Perfect. I talked to my mom when I visited to show her the ring this past weekend. She knew what I was talking about as soon as I mentioned my sister and said that she had already talked to her. I asked to know the other side because I was extremely confused. It turns out that my sister somehow decided my fiancé had told literally everyone except her, and that he had specifically waited for her to go inside of the house before proposing, as if he purposely made sure that she missed it entirely.
Ah, nice.
Even after our mom tried to tell her that he wouldn't do something like that, she refused to listen. She claimed that someone at the party told her he had told everyone about it. But more likely, someone told her he didn't tell anybody and she misheard. I even asked our mom why. If he had told literally everyone except her, there were hardly any people outside to watch. Every person that came outside to congratulate us after they heard, excitedly exclaiming they wish they had known so that they could have seen it. I mentioned that I didn't feel like I should have to apologize, and our mom said that I didn't have a reason to because I didn't do anything. And neither did my fiancé, because she knew he was so nervous about it that it was all he focused on.
Aww.
He told the owner of the property before the party and the person who took the video literally 10 minutes before I got down to where it was going to happen. She actually told me to just leave it alone because no matter what anyone says, my sister won't believe them. She refused to believe even our mom.
Oh.
So in the end, it was suggested that when the day comes, if she's still acting like this, to still send her an invitation and let her do what she wants with it. She just won't have anything to do with my wedding party, even if she does get her head out of her butt. And there is a second update. Dang, man. She is causing trouble.
Low key, you need one person to cause trouble per wedding.
Yeah, just to keep it interesting.
Yeah. And if
Like-
this is the troublemaker for the wedding, it's not that much to deal with.
Yeah, easy troublemaker.
I would take this one 9 out of 10 weddings.
I think that if you can either have like a really, really fun wedding where, you know, there's great food and like everyone's dancing, or you can have an interesting
Where everyone's
wedding.
having food and everyone's dancing. But there's a lot more drama.
And there's a lot of drama.
Dude, I'm freaking out over my proposal right now. I'm like,
You
my
don't even
heart's
have to
racing.
worry about, well, you got time.
Well, how did your brother do it?
Dude,
It was a nice ring.
it was. Yeah.
It was a nice ring.
Sophia's impressed.
I was impressed.
He actually did the proposal I would have done if I lived in Tennessee still.
Yeah.
Took her to Cherokee Dam, went down by the river, boom, popped it out and did
You
it.
should,
the
you should
question.
try and fish it out of the river and be like,
Oh my
Dude,
gosh,
wait.
that's so funny.
I'm thinking I want like Smeagol type proposal. Like
what's
I'm like,
what's that shiny thing
That
out there?
shiny thing. That's mine.
Oh
my
my gosh.
precious.
That
And
would,
you bring it out of the water, bite his finger off, and be like, oh, it fits.
yeah.
yeah, that,
Oh, it's perfect.
that could definitely work. I'll bring up some pictures.
But there's an update.
Yay.
Hey y'all, so a bit of another update since July, which again involved my younger sister. Yeah, she is still basically ignoring both me and my fiance, even 6 months later. I found out Christmas morning that I'm pregnant, which me and my
Whoa.
fiance had been trying for almost a year before we had to stop for nearly 9 months due to a medical issue. I know it doesn't seem like that long, but it would have been way longer if they hadn't found the cancer cells early and removed them all over the last 9 months. I got pregnant within the very first few months after we got the green light to start trying again after the surgeries. Anyway, I know you're supposed to hold off telling people until the first appointment, but it was Christmas and I've been waiting far too long to say nothing. I made sure that everyone was in the room, including my youngest sister. It's like, everyone's here, or whatever her name is. Sister, you're here? Because we're about to do an announcement.
I need everyone to listen up.
And then you have everyone sign something that says, this is the first time I've ever heard this information.
I need every single one of you to hear what I'm about to say.
Get off your phone, Uncle Joe. This means my mother, my stepdad, both sisters, their husbands, my fiance, and my 2 nephews. I gave our mom a card because she loves to read them out loud from her girls and wrote, "It's time to spread the love just a little more next year. I hope to see you in 9 months." Both my mom and my middle sister jumped up, hugged me, and congratulated me.
And your older sister stood up, slapped you in the face, said, "How dare you?"
Come to find out, my youngest sister was too involved in her phone. I called it! To hear literally anything that had happened. That's ridiculous. See, this is why I literally just said, put your phone down. You should have made sure everyone had their phone down. When her husband nodded at me and asked me to show her the picture, positive pregnancy test, because she hadn't heard it at all, I did. Her response was an extremely dry, "Congratulations," with no movement to get up, no excitement, nothing.
Dang, it looks like you have one sister.
Yeah, looks like you lost your sister. Even my nephews went slack-jawed and hugged me, excited for a baby cousin. You know what I'm excited for, though? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. I was going to give you another.
Oh, I thought you said
What
you were
should-
about to have a kid.
No, what should I search up?
Oh, okay, story time, I guess. I don't know,
a
now
good
I'm
guess.
disappointed. I thought you were going to be like, "I'm pregnant." And I was going to be like, "Oh my God."
What?
I was going to be so happy for you.
I do not want a child right now.
That's gonna be the next poll. Who's gonna have a kid first?
I'm not having a kid until I'm at least 32. So I got some
I'm
time.
already
away.
practicing.
But there's a little bit left to this story. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even want to bring her to the wedding and be like, you know what? You clearly don't want to be, have a relationship with me.
Cut her
So
out.
bye.
Yeah, dude, she doesn't care.
At this point, me and my fiance are pretty positive that she just doesn't like the fact that we're happy
Who
and
said
doing
me?
things she's not getting to do due to her impending divorce, which still hasn't happened, by the way. I didn't think she ever wanted kids, but I heard last year that she and her husband were thinking about trying. Obviously, not going to be the case anymore, and it looks like she's trying to take it out on me. And I'll tell you this, if she tries to take it out on my child, heck will break loose, and nobody will be able to stop me. I'm sure I'll have another update. Can only hope it won't be in the next 9 months unless anyone is interested in one before then. And that's the end of the story.
It seems like your sister is uninterested in your life.
I agree.
Information diet, I don't think it really matters. She's a part of it anymore.
Does she even need to know about all these things that are happening? Because she doesn't seem to want to know about them.
And if she gets upset because she doesn't know about it,
Oh, well.
then know how to send you a
boo-hoo.
memo.
But that's the end of that story, folks.
I accidentally snooped on my fiance saying that she's still not over her ex.
Well, she can get back together with him, man.
And then trigger warning, there's a physical altercation mentioned
Uh-oh.
in here, so beware. My fiance, female 31, and I, male 33, got engaged in October last year, and I've been in a relationship for 5 years. Everything has been great, and I can honestly say that I've never met anyone who comes close to her. She's absolutely been the love of my life. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Love of Life, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We probably haven't been in these situations, but if you have, let us know what you either would do or have done in the comments. So OP says, I've known her most of my life as we grew up on the same street just around the corner from each other. Her mom and dad still stay in the same house, and I still live in the house that I grew up in, which my mom left to me when she passed away in 2014. We don't officially live together yet, but for all intents and purposes, she lives here. She's still very close to her parents, though, and still has her bedroom there, so she'll occasionally spend the night at their place. But she's almost always here. So this morning, I decided to walk to the shops to buy some things. About halfway down, I realized I had forgotten my face mask. Masks have been mandatory here in the shops since the 10th of July, so I had to walk back. When I walked in to grab the mask from the kitchen table, I heard her speaking loudly on the phone in the living room. She said, yeah, but David will always be the love of my life. And David is her ex-boyfriend.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. This sounds like the summer I turned pretty.
Oh, yeah?
Sounds like we got a little Conrad Jeremiah situation going on here. She's about to marry Jeremiah, but the love of her life is Conrad.
Oh, no. I don't know much about him, but I know they were together for 2 years and it ended about a year before we started dating. He dumped her. I grabbed my mask and walked back out, but when I got to the shops, I felt so weird I had to sit down because my mind was going in 1,000 different directions. When I got back home, I immediately told her that I felt sick and sent her back around to her parents' house because I didn't want her around while I was ill. I laid in bed wondering what to do. I know she didn't do anything wrong. It's not like she cheated or intentionally tried to hurt me, but what's heard can't be unheard. She said the person that she's agreed to marry isn't a patch on an ex that she hasn't been with in 6 years. The fact she said he will always be the love of her life makes it feel like her heart's already been taken. What happens if he comes back into her life? You can't turn down the love of your life when they come calling. I'd be dumped quicker than yesterday's leftovers. So how do I navigate this? Do I tell her I overheard her? End the relationship with a vague, it's not you, it's me? Swallow my pride and pretend I didn't hear it? Everything has been great, but I don't want to be someone's second choice, especially when her ex is still the one on her mind, the one she would obviously be with if she could. I thought about just saying it's not working anymore. Meanwhile, she was texting me about coming around to spoil me because I was the sickie. F that.
OP,
And we do have an update.
hold your horses.
Yeah.
Hold your horses. Your
Yeah.
mind's running faster than the horses that you need to hold.
Yeah.
You you need to don't I don't understand the should I suck up my pride or whatever and forget about it. Like that would be the opposite. That would be like a pride move. You need to talk to your fiance about it.
I
and say,
think
"Hey,
absolutely.
I overheard this.
Huh?
What did you mean
Yeah.
by that?
Yeah, OP,
Yeah.
don't make yourself the victim. Like, yeah, I mean, don't make yourself like the reason why you should break up. Like, you have nothing to do with this. Everything was great until,
Nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go talk to her, figure out what she meant.
Yeah.
Maybe like by, I don't know, like not saying that it is, but maybe by some, weird thing like like the miscommunication trope of only hearing one part of the sentence. And you just misheard something, misunderstood something, not saying that you did, but that is a possibility. Or maybe the other possibility is that is what she meant. And then you talk it out and you say, hey, like, are you still in love with your ex? Because maybe we should slow down on the marriage if you're not over your ex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but none of that can happen without a conversation.
For sure. But we do have an update. After posting and receiving advice on Reddit on Thursday, I planned to tell her to come back around that night so we could talk, but I decided on Friday morning instead. I needed time to clear my head. She still thought I was sick, so it gave me a chance to prepare. She came around Friday morning about 8 a.m., and I think she could see right away that something was wrong because I looked stony-faced, and you could cut the atmosphere with a knife. I told her I wasn't sick and that when I went back to the house for my mask, I heard her talking about David. Her face went completely pale and she started welling up. I stopped talking and just stared at her. She ran into the toilet, locked the door, and started hysterically crying.
Oh, bad
Interesting.
sign. Bad sign.
Yeah. Alarm bells were going off in my head. Her reaction made me think that she didn't know what part I heard, meaning she must have said worse. That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Now I'm wondering if she cheated.
I'm wondering that as well. I knocked on the door and told her if she had any aspirations of saving this relationship, she had better tell me everything right now. After about 30 minutes, she finally came out, dabbing her face with a tissue. She admitted David got back in touch 4 to 5 months ago, and she had been sleeping with him once or twice a week since.
Yep, cheating. Yeah, which, you wouldn't have known if you hadn't confronted her, and now you know for sure that you should not go through with this marriage.
So I guess it was a little bit of a miscommunication in the sense that you just didn't hear how bad it was.
It was so much worse than you thought of. Isn't that great?
Worst case scenario. I realized the snippet I overheard was likely her friend helping her choose between him and me. When I heard this, I lost it. I threw her out, grabbed handfuls of her stuff, put them in bin bags, and tossed them into the front garden. Then I drenched them with the garden hose. I'm not proud of that. It was petty, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have done it. She ran home, and a minute later, her dad came rampaging around screaming. We ended up rolling about in the muddy garden fighting. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
At 9 a.m, no less. Police vans showed up, and half the street came out because of the chaos. Afterwards, I blocked her on everything and went to my friend's place where we spent the weekend drinking. When I came back on Monday, I noticed that she had been back in the house, made the beds, done the washing, and even ironed. I have no idea why. As I was writing this, she tried to get in again. I haven't been able to change the locks yet, so I put the door chains on. From upstairs, I heard her trying to get in and the chains clanging. She also slipped a note under the door. I didn't read it. I'm too hurt, hungry, and hungover to deal with what she has to say. And we do have a second update, but oh my gosh,
dude.
Oh my gosh.
Your marriage is over.
100%.
I mean, you weren't even married yet.
Were they engaged? I guess
they
I
were
couldn't
engaged.
remember
This
that.
is fiancé.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just got so much worse.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what she told the dad to make him so mad.
Probably that OP was leaving her for no reason.
Yeah, just like, oh, he just kicked me out.
Yeah.
I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, and then
that
he was like,
it.
my little girl.
Yeah. And then it's
and
like
then you're rolling in the mud. And OP's like, she cheated
on me. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so wild.
Intense.
But we do have a second update. So, things have gotten worse. Yay. As many of you advised, I emailed her father explaining my side of the story and apologizing for going public and embarrassing his daughter. I told him I acted instinctively. I didn't apologize for fighting him because he came at me.
Yeah.
He told me to F off and accused me of biting his ear for some reason.
Good old Mike Tyson.
So that's what was stuck in my teeth. I'm joking, of course, if you didn't laugh. About a week ago, I found my car keyed all the way down one side.
Ooh.
Then last Sunday, while walking to meet a friend, the local gossip called me a disgrace. When I asked why, she said it was for, quote, beating up my ex-fiancé. What?
And then you say, I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that 100% did not happen. Let's be clear, I've never laid a finger on her in my life. Either she, her dad, or someone else is spreading this lie, and me tossing her stuff out and hosing it down made it believable. I haven't spoken to her, and she hasn't contacted me either. They're all on the same page now. I'm the bad guy. I've started the process of putting my house up for sale. I can't live here anymore. I wish my mom was still here. She'd know how to make this better. And we do have a second update, or a third update, but yeah, wow. If the gossip won't stop gossiping,
then
you gotta
leave.
Escape.
Gotta leave
the
this
gossip.
small town with these small-minded people.
Find somewhere where no one knows your name.
Yeah.
But we do have a third update. Do you have any final comments before we move on?
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. My goodness. Let's get into it.
Let's cut.
I'm still in my house, but I'll be renting it out instead of selling. I can't give up something that was my mom's and has been in the family for generations. Oh, that's right. I forgot the house was left to him by his mom.
Oh,
don't leave. Honestly.
That's so sad.
Nah, man, I would try so hard to clear my name.
Yeah.
Right?
That would probably, if it was like a, in the house for generations, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Hear ye, hear ye.
I laid no hand on that woman.
I would have been like,
she cheated on me.
I would
Yeah.
like, ask fiance's David. Ask him what's going on.
Yeah, let's bring David into the mix.
I mean, if
here.
she's slandering you and saying that you hit her,
Yeah,
you can-
that's honestly important because
lawsuit.
yeah, 100%. I spoke to her father again. I understand why the family circled the wagons, but the way they threw me under the bus was brutal. To them, my name and reputation were just collateral damage. I've known them my whole life, and this is what I get. I feel like I was in the middle of a crap storm, but I've got an umbrella and a roadmap now. I even posted my side on social media. Whether that was right is debatable, but I'd already discreetly shared it through close friends, so I felt it was time. Her side is still united against me, but I hope neutral people can see the truth. My close pals have been incredible, and it would be incredible if you checked out full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime, and there is a little bit more. This fourth update. Shall we get into it?
Let's dive right in.
Update number 4. It's been over a year now, and I've since moved out and am renting my house to an older couple. I thought I'd give an update. I'm doing great now and even
Yay.
have a girlfriend.
Yay.
Wish me luck. What did I learn? Crap hit the fan fast, but I stood strong. For the first time in ages, I'm looking forward to the future. We only get one life, right? I'm spending it with someone who would treat me like trash. And that is exactly right. Go
Heck
you,
yeah,
OP.
Things are looking up for you.
Sure are.
And none of that would have happened
yep.
if you hadn't talked to your fiance.
Right. You did all that you could. I mean, I think it's perfectly rational to want to, throw someone out of your house.
Sure.
Obviously, like in a nonviolent way. I'm sure that's assumed. And react. At least you didn't like set her stuff on fire. I mean,
At least you didn't do that.
you just got it wet. That's all.
That's all.
That's all.
Ain't no crime. My fiance lied to me years ago, and now it's haunting our relationship.
No, maybe you just need to ghost her then.
Whoa, trigger warning.
Oh.
Bullying. I, 33 male, am engaged to my beautiful fiance Rachel, 33 female, who is my school sweetheart. We haven't set a date, but we hope to get married next year, and she wants the wedding to be big. She is a consultant cardiologist doctor, and I am a boxing coach. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we were not always close. I was friends with a girl called Beth, who I knew since we were toddlers. I had a huge crush on her, but was happy to stay friends. But Rachel made her life a living heck throughout school. I hated her during this time and always protected Beth against her and her friends. Rachel already had a crush on me at the time and asked me out a few times, but I didn't like her and was not interested. Beth was very insecure due to being bullied by Rachel, and because of how Rachel felt about me, it destroyed our friendship. This was when we were 16 and had finished year 11. But we stayed on at school to do A-levels. Rachel and I were in the same maths class for A-levels, and while I didn't like her, she was top of the class, so the teacher got her to help other people out, including me. During these classes, I got to know Rachel, and it seemed like she changed a lot from how she was in the early years. She didn't pick on anyone and was really nice. I eventually agreed to go out with her, and we connected really quickly. I fell for her pretty soon, and we've been together ever since. Wait, I'm sorry, so she was a bully? Okay, so OP had another friend who he had a crush on. Rachel bullied that girl until OP fell in love with Rachel? All right.
So when people say bullying works, it means it works to get the one you love.
Apparently. Last week, I went for a drink with an old friend of mine from school called Adam. He works in Dubai, and I haven't seen him since we left. When I found out he was back for a few weeks, I messaged him and we went for an adult soda. He was surprised to see me engaged to Rachel, given the history with me, her, and Beth. But I tried to say that she changed and wasn't that person when I said yes. Adam said that Rachel and her girlfriends continued to target Beth and were actually even worse during the A-level years. Apparently, it was sort of an open secret that Rachel convinced a lot of people to keep quiet from me. I wasn't willing to take his words at face value, and I asked Rachel about it when I got home. She outright stated that she continued to bully Beth when we were together, but asked why it mattered.
it was so long ago. It's water under the bridge. What do you mean?
What?
I just bullied her. That's all.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I was just a bully. I asked if it bothered her at all, and she said no. I pointed out that she lied to me in order to make me go out with her, but she said that we've been together for 15 years, and this shouldn't bother me now since it brought us together.
Oh my gosh.
After spending a few days thinking, I told Rachel that I wanted to put the engagement and wedding planning on hold. Not because I want to break up with her, but because we need to spend time working through what I just found out and possibly even make amends with Beth. This made Rachel cry, and she demanded to know why Beth is affecting our engagement. I'm not sure I've done the right thing. I love Rachel, but what happened was years ago when we were kids. Not like she cheated on me or anything like that. Should I let bygones be bygones, or is it best to hold the engagement off for the moment? And there are some comments, but what do you think, OP? I mean, Angie.
I am OP. This was me. I think it says a lot about who she is as a person.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's yeah, cheating is bad, but cheating doesn't have to be the only reason that you like change your image on someone, you know? So I think if she is not remorseful about this, like I feel like it could be forgiven if she was like, yeah, I did that and I feel so bad about it. That was not the right way to do it, but I am glad that it worked. Yeah. But again, not the right way to do it. That maybe could be forgiven, but she's clearly just like, well, yeah, I mean, I'd probably do it again.
Yeah, she's like, it happened. I got what I wanted, and I don't care.
Aren't you happy now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, just trust your instincts here, OP.
Yeah. Comment 1 says, did she really change, or did she finally get what she wanted? Is she cruel to people now, and has she been since? The answers to that tell you what your next move should be. Reply, even if she isn't actively cruel to others, she still lacks remorse. That in and of itself should be a concern. Reply, that's a fair point, but that could be from embarrassment. I did my fair amount of dumb things as a teenager. Nothing cruel like this, but still dumb. Reply, that's as may be, but it's still incredibly disconcerting as a response. I'm not advocating dumping her over this. I just think a step back and careful consideration of what's going on here, along with counseling, would be prudent at this time. And there is an update. Let's jump in.
Do it.
Wednesday evening, Rachel and I sat down to talk about things. I put forward that we both need to make amends with Beth, Rachel for what she did to her, and me for ending my friendship with her when she needed me the most. Rachel refused straight away. She said the stuff that went on between her and Beth was just kid stuff and things all girls do. No.
Hey, girls.
We
have you guys
got
done
two
this?
girls right here.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
No.
No.
She said that if Beth couldn't take a joke, then that wasn't her problem. She asked if I expected her to apologize to everyone her and her girls had problems with. I then asked if she's still acting this way at work, and she pointed out that as a high-up doctor, she at times needs to lay down the law to those working under her. Sounds like she's still a bully. She then proceeded to get at me and asked if I expected her to apologize to them too. I asked if Rachel had any regrets at all about how she treated Beth, and she said it was just a bit of fun. There was nothing to regret. Fun?
Oh my God. But we're using the word bullying here, so I don't think that's fun.
No. I asked if she regretted lying to me, and she answered saying that if I'd known what she was doing, I'd never have agreed to go out with her. You want me to apologize for starting this relationship? I was shocked and confused. I love Rachel to bits, I truly do, but I feel like I'm suddenly living with a completely different person. My Rachel is bubbly, funny, and passionate about her career. She isn't someone who sees nothing wrong with the fact that she's made someone's life a living heck. I said we need time to work through this, possibly through therapy, and should put the engagement on the back seat for the moment. We're also trying for a baby, and I said that we should maybe hold off until we're in a better place. Rachel started to cry, and I went out to give her some space. Rachel rarely drinks due to her work, and I'm not a big drinker either, but we do have some booze in the house for gatherings and things like that. When I got back, I found Rachel absolutely wasted because she rarely drinks, so she goes crazy when she's wasted. This time around, it seems like she turned back into her school self. She started saying, I should be grateful that she told the lies she did, because otherwise I'd have ended up with ugly Beth.
Oh my
Her exact
God.
words. She then started screaming at me that how could you let that C-U-N-T, get between us.
Oh.
And then broke down sobbing and hugging me. Wow. Yikes.
What did she ever do to you?
Yeah.
Why are you calling her that? Why are you still bullying her all of these years later? This is not a bit of fun.
No.
Fun for no one.
No one.
Except for you, I guess.
Rachel was so wasted she barely knew what she was doing. I helped her onto the sofa where she passed out fairly soon, and she slept there until Thursday morning. She was extremely hungover and would never risk her career by going into work with booze in her system. So she called in sick. I went to work, and when I got home, she was still on the sofa and was sobbing quietly. After Rachel's wasted behavior, therapy is definitely the way forward. I'm looking into it right now, and Rachel has reluctantly agreed, though she's insisted she doesn't need it. Girl. I think apologizing to Beth is a bit of a stretch at this point, but maybe something for the future. And there is a second update, but wow. She is not who you thought she was, clearly.
No.
That is, yeah.
This is a big realization that we're
Yep.
having on this woman here.
Ooh, and yep. I think pausing that engagement, pausing baby making.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Update 2. So we've started therapy and it's going well. We both opened up about a lot of things and gotten to talk a lot about the bullying towards Beth that went on behind my back while we were dating. Rachel has tearfully admitted some of the things she did, and some of them were absolutely disgusting. She has, however, apologized for the very first time and admitted she was wrong. Our therapist also suggested that, if possible, we should seek Beth out and apologize, but only if we feel comfortable doing so and if we feel Beth would appreciate it. Rachel has refused so far, but I decided to look her up on social media. Beth is now married with 2 kids and manages a nursery. She looks really happy, and I was delighted for her. I decided to message her on Facebook and get it all out. I told her that I genuinely did not know that Rachel continued to treat her badly after we stopped being friends and I started dating Rachel. Had I known, I would never have agreed to go out with her. Beth responded saying that with her family and work, she has no time to deal with what I have to say and that she's moved past all that now. She also said that even if she had the time, she has absolutely no intention of listening to anything I have to say, so long as I remained involved with Rachel.
Oh, wow.
She blocked me from messaging her before I could respond, which totally fair on Beth's part.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, like, yeah, OP even said, like, some of the things that Rachel did were disgusting. Like, Beth is probably traumatized.
Yeah, because, I mean, we don't even know all that she did.
Nope.
We
just know that she bullied her.
Yeah, and if she is still to this day, like, calling her the C word and saying that she's ugly and stuff, and
Probably
Beth's
was
having this
bad.
reaction, yeah, it was probably very bad. It's nice of you to apologize.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the right thing to do, even if, you know, it wasn't, didn't have, like, you know, an accepting response, but I think that's okay. At least you did that.
At least you did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was a fairly disappointing turn of events, but Rachel wasn't surprised at all when I told her this. While I completely understand Beth's position, I should state that it was not my fault my friendship with her ended. When Rachel and her friends used to torment her, and then Rachel used to try to flirt with me often at the very same time, it took a toll on Beth's mental health. By the way, it's going to take a toll on your mental health if you don't listen to full episodes of stories just like this.
True.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Get out of there.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Maybe demand them, like, to know what exactly happened. Like, what did you do? What was the worst of it? Why is, just for my own curiosity, why is Beth having this strong reaction? Like, I already am not very happy about what's happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I really want to know. Maybe you can say, like, even if it's not true, maybe you can say, like, you know, I will only consider, I mean, maybe this isn't the best, but an option is to say, like, I will only consider getting back together if you are honest to me about what you did to her. But then, like, don't actually have an intention of that, just to get that out of her.
I think it should. Well, I mean, even
but also
consider is
yeah.
fine. You can say I'll consider it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you considered
Yeah.
not doing it as well.
Yep. OP continues. She became very insecure and paranoid and started accusing me of secretly being friends with Rachel and secretly giving her info to use against Beth. This wasn't true at all, but she started accusing me more and more to the point that all we ever did was argue, and finally it got to the point that I decided to end our friendship due to the lack of trust, and how hurt I felt for my best friend to accuse me of betraying her like that. I didn't start going out with Rachel until quite a while after that. Well, it's a shame my attempt to apologize didn't work out. At the end of the day, I value my relationship with a woman I love more than reconnecting with a friend from years ago who is living her own life. What I'm focused on now is fixing our relationship so we can get back on track and work towards the life we've always dreamed of. Therapy will continue, but any other helpful hints to ease us along? Dang, I don't know, man, because I don't know how you would look at this person the same.
This will take a lot of thinking and a lot of reflecting on.
It sure will.
Good luck.